They say you better blow that shit out. To the east, to the north, to the south, to the west, above, below, center. To the east, to the north, to the south, to the west, to the south, above, below, to the center. That caught me. That caught me. Here we go. Oh, right on. Ooh. Ooh. Give you that argonite, baby. The bowl is full of this blue argonite. So I'm going to give you a little bit of that. And definitely the Virgin energies. My big Virgins across the table from me. So show this. So when anybody say, you know, I had some dreams last night about that funny thing that's in your bowl, and you didn't warn us. All right. A little bit of everything in here. We don't put anything. We want everything. We want to come in here. We want to come in here with a bang, baby. That's what they tell you with the New Year's. Why they say you got to bring the New Year's in with a bang. They need our energy. They need our energy to come to you with my Calumet. Pass it to all y'all. Let all y'all get a hit from it. Oh, and I guess I should, if you've never checked me out before, I guess I should tell you that I do got a name. I mean, it says Big Pontiac right there, but I go by many different names. But this is the Chocolate Mountain Show, and I am your main man, not from Japan, Big Pontiac. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins. And I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcome to each and all and every Chocolate Mountaineer to my galactic patio that goes from Minnesota to this universe. And definitely we are having Boulder Beer Chocolate Shake. and I have the coarse glass, and you don't. The barrel glass. So pop them if you got them. Big piece of 90% chocolate. You got to get your bitters in, everybody. You got to get your bitters in. The bitters help bring the signal in clear. Brings the signal in clear. That's why I take She Legit every day. Folic acid, I think that's what it's called. So pop them if you got them. And trying not to make a mess. Here we go. No mess. And smoke them if you want them, because I've been ringing this bad boy here. You know, the dab machine, big rig. Definitely herb gummies. Got some of that badass wax. Woo! So I think smoke them if you want them. So welcome everyone. I know it's been a minute, but let me see who's saying hello. Lorenzo, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Macbone Files, what is happening? Many blessings. I thank you for the kind words. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I don't have this other book up here. I wanted to show you guys some shit, but maybe if I remember, I'll talk about it. But I'll talk about it briefly. So, you know, a lot of times when you study stuff, you don't expect to get information. And it's funny how, you know, if you're thorough and you study enough, if you're able to see this information here, you're able to say, hey, where have I come across this? And what I've recently gotten, I'm sorry I showed it before, and I'm sorry I didn't bring it up here, but it's a book about Planenki. And this is South America. This is where, you know, Starface Flower, the original one, where he is from. But I said this, you know, when we talk about Clyde Winters, you know, when Dr. Winters, and he tries to use an African language to decipher Omic or Omen language. Now, I'm reading about Planenki, and they gave me a gem that I'm going to pass on to y'all. So what they say is, again, if you look at the picture, do I have the statue right here? The poster's in front of me. But anyway, I'm sorry I can't show you this stuff to give you some reference. But anyway, what it shows you is two names from the Omen era, because they have to be Omen. One name is something like, let me get this right, Spine Snake. And the other one I can't remember. But Spine Snake is obviously from the Omen times. But the gift they gave me is they gave me some script. And the script is obviously what I've seen before, because I have many things in Omen language. And so how is it that I can look at this and say, okay, this is the same as over here, but Dr. Winters can't? I don't know. Just tells you. Macbone. Okay. My email is in the hey Jeffrey Lake, my email is in the whatever. Hey Crazy Sarge, how you doing, man? Oh, what is happening? Oh, definitely edibles. Yes, OTF. These are edibles. Living off these. This first time I smoked, you know. B Brown, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining me. Thank you. Signed to work with a personal trainer, LA Fitness. Got myself in peak optimal physical condition, body, mind. Like, oh, that's outstanding. I'll tell you, this is my newest brace for my hand, and I kind of like this one. We have a hutch downstairs. I'd have to show it to you, and I lifted it, and I think because I'd already tore this. I think I tore it, because when I lifted this thing, I heard this shit pop in here. So what I just found out is it's 70% torn. Like, these two muscles that come into each other are both 70%. Well, this is what it was in 15. They were both torn in the thick part. 70% of these two tendons were both torn. So they give me this because I can't really do this. You know, doing this is a little hard, and I don't really have a lot of strength. So they gave me this thing to keep me from doing this. So that's one thing that's happened recently. um, I've moved in here. Most of my stuff. I wish I could show everything, but most of my stuff is here. We finally cleared the other apartment. I hadn't lived there in 3 months, still paying rent. So my cats end up in a good spot. My son took my cat, so my cats, I was really worried what to do with them. But for now, they're in a good spot. I wanted to show gear. I'm a gearhead and shoes and shit, but look at these slippers I bought. These are so fun. And I think this shit is waterproof. I mean, these are my house slippers, but this shit is super comfortable. That's the air unit. Oh, let me tell you now, we didn't get the snow like they got in Michigan. In Kalamazoo, my hometown, they got 15 inches of snow. No, they got 8 inches of snow. But here, it's super cold here. I couldn't even tell you what the wind chill factor, but it's like right now, it's +8. It's so cold. I was trying to pump gas and it kept cutting off. Like I think I ended up putting $40 in, and it probably took 40 more. But it kept cutting off. And the run flat tires, for some reason, when I got gas, check this out. When I got gas, I watched, when we pulled up, we saw a person getting air. It's a quick trip near me where you can get free air. You can just, you ain't got to pay money to air up your tire. I watched 5 cars go get air. And then the run flat, we got air maybe 2 weeks ago. The run flat probably needs to be replaced in the back because we keep filling it with air. And the only advantage of run flat is it'll take you 50 miles and you ain't got to go out there and, put the donut on. But other than that, oh yeah, Lorenzo, these are super comfortable. My daughter put them on and then she started feeling this stuff. She's like, whoa. So I don't think I'll wear these outside, maybe next summer, but they're just indoor shoes. Oh, and I have 2 broken feet. I broke my foot again. So yeah. But I'm not a woe is me kind of dude. I just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep working on myself. But yeah, so the house is, I've got 1 bookshelf here full of books. The big treadmill is here. The treadmill will take you all over. I'm going to take this TV out, mount a TV. I don't know. I don't really like electronics where I meditate because it's kind of my meditation room. Don't know when I put all the other equipment in here if we're going to broadcast in here. There's windows here. And because of the treadmill, I don't know. The office is on the other side of me, but the office is open. I don't know if you understand how that, it's kind of like it's an office, but it's a loft, if you understand. So it's a lot of sound. So we're trying to see which room will sound the best once everything is set up. So it's something to look forward to. Something to look forward to. Now they want to, they want your energy for next week. They want to fatten you up for the what they say, fatten you up for the slaughter. One of the Thanksgiving stories comes from the men were out hunting and the Europeans came in and killed all the women and children and the old people. Then they moved in. They moved in on the property too. And then they took all the crops, and what they didn't take, they burned so the people would starve. You see this over and over again. And this is what they were celebrating. They celebrated this defeat of some women and children, as you see over and over again. And that's pretty much what it was. It was a slaughter celebrated. So don't give your energy to that. Don't give your energy to that. Give your energy into having fun with your family. I watched a game from Western Michigan, Central Michigan earlier this week. It snowed so hard there. They played in the blizzard. I was saying, I've told this story before. I was telling my girl that the last game I did in Michigan, and the whole story is kind of just shows you the different places. But the last game I did in 2006 was in early in October, and we had already had a lot of snow. And this is the place. It's a place called Saugatuck, Michigan. A lot like parts of San Francisco when you pull in and you kind of see cliffs, but this city is all on a cliff of Lake Michigan. And so the high school sits over this cliff and we get all that lake effect snow. And luckily, as I said before, nylon is very warm. When you have something nylon, it'll hold in a lot of heat. And I had this nylon ref jacket. I think actually at one time it was probably a jacket for the college people to hold the sideline markers. I mean, this thing was just totally held in heat. And my pants, of course, long john. So I was ready. One of my young guys that came in there, he just had a long sleeve ref shirt. wasn't terribly cold, but it was like blizzard conditions. I literally could not see down. Like when I would blow my whistle, I couldn't see the other guys on the other end of the field. So, and then when I had to drive home, my friend who's in the Merchant Marines calls me from Hawaii. So I'm listening to this nigga tell me that he's about to get his hair cut and then go to this party in 80-degree weather. And I'm fighting. And I had a like old station wagon with the way back and shit. And I'm fighting this snowstorm. But that's what that game reminded me of, Lorenzo. It was times where when I was young, we had to, before we could play, we had to shovel off the fields. And then when I was a young boy, when I played young football, they wouldn't let us wear cleats. Now, tennis shoes are great. Tennis shoes are great when it's a little icy. Tennis shoes will really stick. If it's really slippery but not slushy, tennis shoes are great. But mud and stuff like that, not so much. The native word for bad hunter is vegetarian. Yeah, that's been going around. That's right. For bad hunters, vegetarian. That's right. Browns and Bills games got moved from Buffalo to Detroit. Yeah. They got 77 inches of snow. They got 77 they got six feet, almost 7 feet of snow in Buffalo. You know, Buffalo's like right on Lake Erie. They got that lake effect snow. Cleveland probably got hit pretty hard too. If Buffalo got hit hard, just depending where this, but yeah, so that they were predicting that. And then for the safety of people. So yeah, because Detroit is playing. Yeah, I was just talking to Tony because Detroit's not playing at home. So that's why they're able to use it. And then the Vikings play Dallas, and then the Vikings play again on Thursday, next Thursday too. So the Vikings, play next Sunday and next Thursday? Yeah, I think the Vikings play next Sunday and next Thursday. So we'll see. But they play the Cowboys tomorrow. Yep. Lions, medicine, spirit, power, tiger, medicine, spirit, powers, aspect, the tributes of Black Panther, medicine, spirit, power. And it's funny, all the birds up here pretty much went south. You know, the Canadian geese, ducks stay here, and ravens stay here too. Now, I don't know about seagulls, but the ravens, like they, you know, again, I was saying I live on a hill. I mean, I live on a giant hill. The ski, where I'm trying to think, I'm in the back of the house. So the ski hill is literally right here. I mean, you guys come up here, want a tube, or if you guys ski, it's right there. We could literally walk there, you know. So, Damon, thank you, Damon. Nice. I'll say this. I know my nieces and my nieces and my nephew, I know they was going through the sniffles about 2 weeks ago, maybe more like 3 now. My daughter was going through the sniffles. Tony's son and daughter, my best friend, his son and daughter, both kind of going through it. My girl's mother's partner, she's going through it. She's been sick. I wouldn't go. The other day I stayed back. I ain't going down. I was like, So, you know, lucky. And I just think, you know, I'm hurt. I get hurt, but I don't tend not to get sick. So, but yeah, it's going through. It's everywhere. So I don't think it's, you know, it's kind of everywhere with the children. Definitely. Yeah, I did see it. Yeah, I did see Black Panther 2. I saw Black Panther 2, fell asleep. Not a long time, but my girl fell asleep. I fell asleep. I didn't see the Warrior Queen, but yeah, I agree with Sly. It is all that again. I still don't why they didn't recast. They really they're gonna make their money, but why not recast? What did it mean to me? Now I saw it in IMAX or whatever they call it. The score was great. Action was that talking stuff, way too much talking. Black Adam was better. Black Adam kept my attention longer than that movie. Yeah, I was kind of, I don't know, underwhelmed. I guess that's the best word. Shot great. The fight scenes were okay. Now, here's a question. What's the difference between, okay, so there's Submariner. There's Namor and Submariner, right? That's 2 different people. I'm trying to remember that. So there's Namor and Submariner. That's what I was. Now, you guys, you cartoon people, I've been trying to get my sons to answer. They ain't been answering on the phone. So that's two different people. Namer and Submariner are two different characters. You guys make me remember that because I don't remember that. But yeah, so what did I get from it? I agree. They were like, it made no sense when they retreated at the end. It made no sense that the god couldn't die. I mean, if you really lead lore, it made sense for the god to die and the people to continue because the people was about to wipe their ass out. So it made no sense for him to give up because of he feared for himself. A god don't think like that. You know, God would gladly sacrifice himself for his people to win. He wouldn't be that selfish. And then if he's a god, he can't really be killed by anything they could do. So I thought I had a lot. I don't know. It was definitely the Warrior Queen again. Very underwhelmed with it. Very underwhelmed. That's what I'll say. Back in the 90s, teams used to hate playing in Buffalo around the time of year, especially back. And Lorenzo, when they had Jim Kelly had his run, you know, dude, I played against Pete Maklovich. Maklovich was on them 4 teams that went to the Super Bowl. I think he's in North Carolina because he played on, I think he got traded when the Panthers came into the league. I think he got drafted, expansion draft, and he ended up retiring with the Panthers. And I think he ended up living down there. He was a dude from Wabash College. What is the odds? This dude won state football as a quarterback. We killed him in hooping. We killed him. They had a back line of everybody 6'7", and we put it on them. David was our biggest player, but we put it on him hooping. But yeah, he went to Wabasha, I think, college, probably Division III, but he's 6'8", and got a chance. Ain't hating on him. Oh, I wanted to say that Jim Kelly, I remember one year the Raiders had the best team, and then the Raiders went up in that cold and couldn't do shit up in that cold because they did, like, it was that one year when the Raiders, I think the Raiders lost to the Bills and the Bills went to the Super Bowl, but I think the Raiders had the better team than the team who must have been the Cowboys that beat the Bills team. But the Raiders team that year, they had not really played in the cold all year. This was the first time it was Buffalo. Buffalo had the better record. So yeah. Hey Nick, how you doing, man? Glad for you to join me. Yeah, I heard Sly like Black Adam. I like Black Adam. I really did. Now I'll say this: Sly hinted on too. I thought the CGI was cleaner in Black Adam than it was in Black Panther. I thought it was a better screenplay. I didn't like Black Panther as a screenplay. It was kind of jumbled. So the screenplay, I didn't really care about it. Oh my goodness, Nick, I was thinking about some music earlier. I was thinking about you, and it's in the air. Oh, Nick, me and you played safeties. Oh, in high school, man, we would have made all the tackles. All the tackles. Because I could run with anybody. I need a favor. Please watch. How you ever seen the link to everybody? Lions is the sigil total of Mom and Ra. Ooh, good share. Good share. Key, how you doing? Thank you for the kind words. You two, they cloned Tyrone. Oh, okay. Oh. Oh, no, I got to watch this. I'd have to, I guess I could turn this. I don't know because I got YouTube right here on the TV too. So I don't know if I could turn to it. But yeah, Nick, I had a song. Oh, gosh. Let me tell you guys, this is a true story. You guys may not believe this, but I'm going to tell this first. And this is, you guys listen to this shit. Sometimes when you do things, there is a small price to pay. But if the price is separation, you gladly pay it. And I'm going to just tell the story like it happened. And how you perceive it is how you perceive it. But this is the story. Well, first of all, I'm going to tell a lot of the story. So my son been bragging that he cooks steaks better than me. So anyway, we go to Hy-Vee, we get ribeyes. I shouldn't have got ribeyes. They were very fatty. But anyway, so he gets to marinate his steak. In the meantime, I've got to turn my grill on. My daughter has a pumpkin. And I'm trying to cook the vegetables at the same time. So he's cooking one steak. I'm cooking 3 steaks. And I'm helping to carve a damn pumpkin. And then we have a contest. But that's not why I bring the story. This is the part that And I'll tell you the way it happened. So I'm a little high. And so I'm cooking, and my daughter's struggling, and I'm watching her with the knife. And when my daughter was little, my daughter slid her finger open to the bone for this carving stuff. So kind of keep an eye on her. And finally, I was like, no, honey, you got to do this. So we get the top off, and we get to pulling out guts. Now, all I did is like this. Like if my glass was the pumpkin, that's all I did. Now, normally, I wear a gold ring on this finger. Now, I go in the pumpkin and squeeze the guts with the gold ring on. Come out, there's no ring. I don't go anywhere but in the guts of the pumpkin. I haven't been anywhere. This is all I've been. I go in with a gold ring in my hand, stick it in the pumpkin, come out. And this is Halloween. This is Halloween too. And there's no ring. I go through the guts, no ring. I'm juggling the pumpkin, no ring. This piece of gold literally vanished inside the pumpkin. Now, if that's a price I have to pay to get rid of some worrisome people, I'll pay that. But that is a true story. And there's no other explanation that anybody else can tell me. Three Rivers Stadium, Pittsburgh, and Giant Stadium used to be three worst stadiums to play around the time of the year. Also, the worst stadium was, Vet Stadium. Vet Stadium was the worst stadium. Wendell Davis, I think, is the guy's name. Wendell Davis played at LSU. Great, I think, All-American receiver, played for the Bears. And in one of the early season games, Wendell Davis came down to pass. And earlier that season, not Belichick, but the first coach to win it in the Ravens, that old coach, he was the coach. Maybe he was the coach of the Ravens then. I don't know. He'd been around, but he refused to play a preseason game on that stuff because that stuff was literally or plywood, and they put AstroTurf over plywood. That's how bad that stadium was. And this guy comes down and he tears. Wendell Davis, I think was his name. He tore both patella tendons, and all he did is came down, and that's how bad that field was. So yeah. The bad thing about Three River Stadium is when they had Three River Stadium was the same thing as the advantage of Buffalo. They may have not had as heavy snow, but ice, rain, yeah, Three River Stadium. So those teams was coming in there. Now, one time, OJ got their ass for about 200-some yard regular season game. Later that year, when OJ went up there in Pittsburgh to play in the playoffs, it wasn't the same thing. They turned the juice off, but that place was nasty to play in too. The Meadowlands, not so bad. I played in that stadium, in the Meadowlands. That was the best turf of all the turf I saw in my life. What they played in the Meadowlands, that was like, to me, I grew up playing at Western Michigan University. We played on the weekend, so I grew up on playing on turf, as a young age. I think the first time I played on we played pickup football. I think I was probably ninth grade. First time I played on just turf. And so I was used to playing on turf, but when I played up in the Meadowlands in the 80s, nothing like that stuff. That stuff reminded me of plush carpet. Plush carpet. That stuff was, I had never saw that kind. And then when we played in the Gold Bowl at Richmond, University of Richmond Stadium, we played on the turf like you would put in your backyard. It wasn't bad, but it was like, oh my goodness. But I remember telling my teammate, I said, man, you better wear elbow pads or you better cover up your elbows and don't let your legs show. And this motherfucker didn't listen to me. And I mean, he had a strawberry on his leg like this. He had burned all that shit. He had caught a pass and slid, and all that shit burned. And I remember seeing him. I just looked at him. So next time we played on turf, he was covered up. But yeah, some of that stuff used to be horrible. And I tell you, with this new kind of turf, we're having a lot of worse turf toe with this new kind of turf. Because remember, any shoe. See, the problem with grass and dirt is, well, not the problem, but when you're in grass and dirt, it's more of a, your legs kind of, the way your foot goes and the different movements of the way your foot goes, it's a natural movement. But what you get from when you get turf toe is because the turf and even the rubber. See, they thought when they chopped up that rubber, those rubber tires, they thought they would get rid of this, but it didn't. And what happens is okay, where grass and dirt will give, the turf pushes back on you. So as you plant and you coming back, instead of something like not something like grass that's just going to kind of stay there, this turf pushes back on you. So it gives you a bending, so as you're pushing down and you're expecting something to stay down, you're getting something that's like spraining your foot or one of your digits almost. So that's the problem with it. And we're seeing a lot of that. And I know a lot of young guys have that. Oh, Nico, what's happening? Yeah, it's been a while. I've been just so busy. Just turn the volume down or watch it on your phone. Now I can watch it on my TV. I can watch it on my TV. I just don't know where the remote is. That was a year our Shell was a African American coach in a conference championship game. Boys, he got beat by 55-3 by the Bills. Yeah, and that's a good share but that was their knock all year. They knew everybody was saying that they should have beat the Bills. They actually had a better team. They had a better team that year, and they wasn't gonna let him in the Super Bowl. Lambeau Field was a horrible place to play in during the playoffs for the winter. Green Bay turns into a block of ice. I mean, if you really look at the Ice Bowl game, the Ice Bowl game was literally how were they explaining it? That game in '67 to go to the first Super Bowl. They literally said they flew in and it was 30 degrees, and it changed from 30 degrees to something like 15 minus, but the wind chill was like crazy. And so it just tells you when them fronts come in, how really cold it can get. I said I watched a game where Doug Flutie was playing in Canada, and my friend Ricky Foggy. I played with Ricky's brother at A&T. We called him P-Funk Perry, and Rick was the backup to Doug Flutie. So Rick had the hat on, he had the big bomber jacket on. He's on the side. Oh, it was freezing. It was freezing. It was like 5 above and crazy wind chill. He ain't even playing. And that's the worst. When you're on the sideline and you ain't playing, and them football pants, man, you ain't got a bunch of warm under there. That's why I don't get guys I always covered my arms when it got cold. I don't know how they did it. I don't know. Maybe Nick was strong enough to do it. I couldn't do it. But it was cold. I always had shirts. I'd had the elbow pads over the shirts, but I always had to. But yeah, up there, because they're on that water too. It's actually a pretty little place. The Green Bay is a pretty little place. It's a pretty little town. It's about 5 hours from me. So not really terribly far. It's just like it's like me going to Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee would take me 7 hours to Milwaukee. No, less than that. I think I'm about 6 from Milwaukee. Yeah. Me and people in my city are excited because my high school alma mater made it to our first state semifinals. High school, 2 more games from winning our first state championship. Yeah, up here that's how they're up here too. Up here, all the games from now on, starting next week, will be at U.S. Bank. My friend that looks like got recruited. My girl's nephew's friend, their team lost last weekend in the must have been the quarterfinals. These was semis. No, this was the quarterfinals now. So it's 2 more games. So he lost last weekend. And so, but he's going to the University of Minnesota. And then they lost to, so they're out of the Big Ten championship. What is the Big Ten West championship? Because Iowa beat them, even though they got the same record. I think they're out. So, and then my school, North Carolina A&T, lost to Gardner Webb in the Colonial Championship today. But at 7-4, they still should get an at-large bid because Bowles is winning 6 games. You win 6 games, generally you get a bowl. So congratulations, Lorenzo. Yeah, but if you ever watch Eastman, Devin Eastman for the Gophers. I think he's 97, 98. Yep. Hey, homie 43, what's happening? I put my leg hoses on, but nothing on my arms. Oh, you was braver than me. But no, oh my goodness, I could not.
play bare armed. I just couldn't. I really couldn't. And then when I played quarterback, yeah, I guess when I played quarterback, I wouldn't have nothing on my arm. No, I even say when I play quarterback, I always cover my arm. See, Nick's tough. Ooh, best show on turf. uh, yeah, but that's exciting, though. It really is exciting, Lorenzo. That's exciting to know people and to watch them go on. It's exciting. You know, if we knew someone, if this young man would have went on, we would have went to see him play. My girl's nephew went to see the Gophers play today because that team was like Holy Angels or something like that. So if he would have made it, we'd have went to the games. Timberwolves won the last 2 games. Sixers lost tonight, and the Sixers lost last night. I'm gonna tell you what they did. I don't know what happened last night. We switched over to YouTube TV, and I was watching the Golden State. The late game was the Golden State game, and we turned it off because it was on ESPN2 for some reason. I think turned it off. Came upstairs to try to watch it upstairs. Game was over. Didn't do nothing but come upstairs and couldn't find the game. So I don't know what happened last night. But I was watching the late Golden State game and came upstairs and the game was like, I don't know. So, but I got to watch the Timberwolves play. The Wild, I think they lost. They was losing when I was when we was out on a Friday date. You know. Where'd you go? I don't understand the script from this season. They got the magnets for the Embiid a little bit. Spurs lost to the Clippers tonight. I think I saw those. Philly won Friday. Okay, so they did win Friday. Okay. So Philly won last night. That's right. They played. Was it the Suns last night? I watched that game. Yeah. Phillies played. Okay, so the Phillies did win. Yeah, I watched that game. I watched 2 games last night. So, oh man. But I watched the Timberwolves last night too. So, and this new cable, I got to download Bally Sports now. So I got to pay damn near the same price just to watch the Timberwolves and to watch the Wild. I got to pay the same price like HBO or something. It's going to cost me like $20 a month just to get Bally Sports. So, what can you do? Watch out for Sacramento. We only 25-year-old because we had to share a school with our school rival, but we're the same school district. Okay. You got Bally free on your phone, or you might have to email me how I'd get it. Because if I can get it on my phone, I can send it to my TV. So it's like my son just bought a 75-inch TV. Okay, that's cool. But realize this, all these TVs that's on sale right now, look at what they are. You got to get that OLED stuff, y'all. Don't get them 4Ks. That's old technology. Get the OLED TVs. Right now, them TVs that's $3,000 is $1,000. I think we looked at one at Target, so just to tell you, it's better to get them on Amazon. So don't get fooled. You do not want to get an 85-inch TV and the TV ain't OLED. It's just 4K. Just telling you, don't waste your money like that. You know. Yes, it looks good. And let me tell you, okay, this is what it really is right here. I knew someone that stayed up all night. Black Friday, they was one of the first to get a 50-inch TV. This is back when Michigan State played Alabama for the championship. So this is like 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there. Michigan State got murdered. So they're all playing cards because they ain't really football fans. I done gave everybody a Michigan State jersey to wear, Michigan State everything in the house. But they ain't really. So I got the TV to myself. I turn on the TV and I'm like, wait a minute. These people did not even have an HD TV. Do you understand? They just saw 50-inch. This TV wasn't even HD. So, don't get fooled by what they're giving away. They're giving away older TVs with old quality. You don't want crystal, that you want OLED. There's different types of OLED. Choose what you want. But them older TVs, yeah, they look the same. But I'm telling you, as the stuff gets better, them TVs ain't gonna get better. Yeah, the Kings are putting it together. I really like Sabonis and Murray. We'll see. We'll see if they can keep it up. Uh, OG was trying to convince me, my homie, how you can easily be in your 60s, still be athletic, capable of hooping, playing sports. Mentioned as your example. Said you're a rare example. Not really. Not really. Man, there's dudes who still hoop. I ran into a dude that I was playing pickleball. He still hoops. He's a slightly younger than me, but he still hoops. He's probably 6'1", 6'2", a little taller than me. Still hoops. So I don't know. As we're being able to heal ourselves better, and pickleball is so, it's not hard on your joints. So that's the great thing about staying in shape. But like we have this thing here, you can this treadmill here, it can take you on trips where you somewhere in the hills. I can take it to South America like I'm walking in to see Michu Picchu and all that shit. It does all that. You just so I think that's it. Oh my goodness, I don't know if I told you guys this story or not. And this is and maybe I did. Maybe I've been on since, but one of my homeboys called me and a couple of weeks ago. So maybe I haven't shared this story. So one of my teammates called me, and no, one of my other teammates texted me, and he said, your boy just been flown in to the hospital here. He said, so check out. So I look up and then I find where he's at and talk to him. And yeah, he's like flown in from North Dakota. Now, what you want to say about people my age and in shape? He's a prime example. Trying to think. I don't even know if these pictures would do him any justice, but I'll grab them. It's right here. Ah. I didn't kick everything over. And I just want to give you reference to a problem that, guys, that if you don't start taking care of yourself, time will take care of you. But, this diet stuff is just horrible. It's just horrible what we have to eat. It is just, and sugar is just the worst. But I want to show you guys this guy. And just tell you, okay, if I can show it right, just to show you how big a guy he was. It's this guy right here. Now, I'm the guy in the back holding the coat because I ain't going to play. You see all these guys? The guy is standing next to me, number 75, the guy I'm talking about. This guy is 6'5". He's like 350 here. See how much bigger he is? Even big, even big smooth in the back. Shit. You guys remember there was a Rock Man? That's how this big smooth was. I don't know if this picture gives any justice, but this is the same guy in this picture. It's this guy. Okay. Of course, that's me making the catch, but that's him. So this guy, he's like the glue of all my teammates. He talks to everybody. If anybody, I want to know anybody about my teammates, I call him. I got somebody else's number. We talking. But this guy has lost a leg. At peak, he's 6'5". At peak, he was probably 350. He got drafted by the Seattle Seahawks, never played. Don't really know the full story, but I know he went to camp, but he got drafted, got his bonus money, and it just didn't work out. He figured do something else. And it's just funny that I'll tell the full story, but I don't know all of his life, but I'll say this. My college football coach ended up losing his leg to diabetes. And this dude was a chain smoker, one after another. Every college game I played, this dude smoked on the sideline. Nobody, you know, it's like that shit was normal. Do you understand? And all my games we played on TV. Every game I played in college, we played on TV. So this dude is smoking on TV. I mean, that's if you could understand that. But even him, you know, bad decisions with eating. Right now, I think he passed in 2012. He was a little younger than my mother. If my coach would have been alive, he'd have been like less than 80, like 79, 78. Diabetes. Assistant coach. Right now, still alive, lost his leg, diabetes. And again, a cigarette smoker. Teammate. Got another teammate. Like in this picture I showed you is another teammate struggling right now. Lost a leg, same thing. Now, this is what's interesting. So my guy hadn't ate a couple days when I went to see him. And when I go in there, now listen to it. Now, diabetes is really, you know, played a number on him. Right now, they were trying to, the reason why I left, they were trying to do a dialysis on him. That's why we left, because he's in intensive care. You see what I'm saying? It's family and friends, you know. I mean, we're like real, you know. And so they was expecting us, you know. So, but when I step in the room, this big nigga, well, you know, he's not big, but he's in there, and he is eating Popeye's chicken and drinking some red soda. He told me he hadn't eaten in 3 days. And, you know, you haven't eaten nothing. It's better to eat a little something. I'm not sure. I don't think he had heart transplant. I think he had some type of heart work done. I know they had to crack his chest open because his girl texted me the next day and like whatever they did to his heart, if you can follow this, they had to pack the inside of his body. You know, they had to pack his heart first to get a lot of inflammation from cracking your chest, you know, because they have to crack your chest open, you know, to get to your heart. So they had to put a lot of, you know, inside. They pack your body inside to get a lot of inflammation out. And it was great hearing him today. He called me and he told me, it's funny, he said, look, go get me some, I need some clay. I need some clay dirt. So I'm going to go see if the Magic Place near the university has it. So I might be able to see him tomorrow, but it was great hearing him talk. But I just want to tell you guys, sugar is poison. I mean, sugar is one of the most wicked things that are around us. Again, there's nothing, I don't say it's evil. It's worse. It's wicked. Sugar is wicked. And the sooner you cut down on it, the better you're going to be. And, you know, talking about older people that try to be in shape, that is one thing that the sooner you can get those habits of getting rid of the sugar, the better you'll be. So, college football, when they're not going to be good games all week. Where I noticed something with college football, when there's not going to be good games all week, all of a sudden all the teams get upset. Could bring in ratings too, yeah. And upsets help ratings. No, this is a NordicTrack commercial 2450. That's what it says. So no, it's a NordicTrack. Yeah, Nick. His name is Mike West. He didn't know. See, that's why I'm gonna get him when I see him again. I'm gonna I'll take my scrapbook up there and see him, and I'm like, man, you didn't know your number as a junior, because I forgot when because he's a year older than me. So as a junior, he wore 75, but as a sophomore, as a sophomore, he wore 75. I don't know what I'm gonna have to ask you to see if he wore 75 as a freshman. But the last 2 years, he wore 69. And this is a true story. He had got shot as a child in Chicago, and it was somewhere on his body near a nerve. They couldn't take the bullet out. And so when he would get tired and not want to do football, he'd always like say the bullet. He's like, the bullet, you know. So, Black Trunks. Black Trunks. I do have a beef with you, and I will toot my horn. I will toot my horn a little bit, Black Trunks. Because you've been getting on old folks and saying we don't have any swag. That ain't really true. This ain't really great, but even in this picture, my shit is lined up. Even in that picture, my shit's lined up. And I need a haircut here. Okay? I need a haircut there, but we got other pictures where my shit is super clean. Let me find it. Now you were saying we didn't get our shit lined up. That wasn't true. That was not true. We did get our hair lined up. And I'll show you exactly what I mean when I find it. Because you were saying old dudes didn't get their hair lined up. That's not true. We did. Okay. Show you 2 shots, baby. And this is me. But just to show you how clean my shit used to look. And this is shit. This shit ain't even when I... This is 77. Don't show the year, but this is 70. Yeah, it does. This is 78. December 2nd of 78, baby. Okay. This the front of me. Look like my shit lined up there. I do got the Elvis sideburns, but look at the top. But that ain't what show you how clean my shit was. Look at me from behind. Look at the guy with his arm jacked up. You see my behind line up? See that? Look at how I am behind. I'm 51 right there. See how clean that line is? Look at that square right back there. Talking about we didn't get our shit lined up. Come on, baby. Black Trunks, we did. Shit, yeah, I ain't the only ones that look clean. And I did get my hair cut because we was snowed out. Shit, when I was a junior and a senior, Nick was living in Michigan then, but I don't know if he got snow like we got. In 77, we got something like 15 inches. 2 weeks, didn't go to school. Like we would go to school for a week and then be out for a week. One time we was out damn near 2 weeks. That picture I showed you, we didn't even go to school. We wasn't even going to school. We was like out snow. It was almost 2 weeks. We didn't even go to school. We was still going to practice. Isn't that funny? We could go up there and go to practice, but we couldn't go to school. We could go play a game because I was like thinking, like, how are we gonna play this game? We ain't been to school. I'm telling you, we didn't go to school. Man, it had been when I played that game. We hadn't been in school for a minute. We hadn't been in school. Snowed out. He's bigger than me. My biggest, I was 268. Yeah, Nick, he played offensive lineman. I mean, he had that, them linemen had that, where their girth it'd be big here, but dudes be big, arms be big. I tell the story. We went to a carnival. And again, this dude had to be I'm telling you, he had to be 350. 6'5", 350. So he was big arms, and we get on one of them swirling rides. And it was one of them rides where when we would go this way, all his weight would just like be on me. I'm like, oh, why did I do this? Oh my goodness. He was killing me. I'm like, every time he would go, it's like he would just squash me. But yeah, he's a big guy. He was a big dude. Like the other guy that's in the picture, I remember, and I've told the steroid story before. This cat was like this dude, like my basketball team, my intramural team was Big Smooth, was 6'4", 275, a solid brother. I mean, he just solid. I probably no body fat. I mean, just broad as that. Big West, this here, Big West, 6'5", 350, chunking 6'7". And I would tell the steroid story about him because he really was a basketball player, but he could block because he had strong arms, long arms too. But naturally, 6'7", but 230 when we were sophomores. And then he came back that next year as juniors. He was about 285. Oh, 3 months. 3 months he went from like 230 to 275. So, and like all this. So he was a steroid guy too. But he was on my team. Ponder was 6'8". I mean, it was just me and Lonnie. And I was putting work in on people. Definitely had to stay away from the red artificial drinks. Oh, definitely. I've cut my sugar intake way down. Don't drink pop anymore. Use monk for sweetener. Yeah, that's what you have to do. I mean, it's so many other ways. I try to cut down, and I drink beer, but like all my chocolate is 90 or 100%. I haven't drank soda. Probably since 15. I stopped that long ago, and I was bad. I drank I couldn't tell you how many years of Coke every lunch forever, So, but you got to cut down, guys. Mm. I'm following the holistic consultation of Form Runner. I received consultation from for a free. Ah, okay. Form Runner. I like Form Runner. It's got good stuff. I keep my hair tight. We had ice storm, blizzard, the winter '78. It was crazy. Yeah. 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 Oh my goodness. I mean, I tell the stories. If you guys never been to a mining operation and seen those super, super big trucks, I mean, they got them trucks with what the tires is 2, 3 stories. I mean, do you understand what these earth movers are like? I mean, these things are. I mean, you got to have a ladder to climb into these things. If you've never been to mining, look this stuff up. These trucks are massive. And it was so bad in '77. It was so bad they had to bring these trucks down from up northern Michigan. And these things had plows on them. I mean, these plows, like these plows were big as some of these houses. I mean, far as tall. It was interesting to see these big, like these trucks are big as, I mean, bigger than monster trucks. These trucks are huge. The wheels on these trucks, but they're moving. They're mining trucks, but they're snow movers too. And I mean, this thing was 2 stories with a big blade on it, and it was pushing that shit out. It took that to go into every neighborhood to get us out. It was bad. It was bad. It did that 2 years, and that is depressing. That's really depressing. I mean, I think that was what I suffered the first time I suffered from depression was the snow seemed like it would never stop. I mean, it literally seemed like it would never stop. And, we ain't doing nothing. And, you teenager, you don't want to go out in the snow all the time. Oh, yeah. Oh, but today is so trying to pump that gas. It's so cold up here. And it's funny. I've got everything, but I was at Lowe's last night and should have bought some better gloves because my gloves are leather, but my gloves ain't lined. And it was like everything is feeling good. Well, you know how cold will attack whatever's weak. And it was my hands because them gloves are just leather but not lined. And that shit was like, ooh. My girl kept us like, that's enough. I'm like, nah, you got a little business to do tomorrow. Like, man, my hands was feeling it. But we needed to put air in that run flat, and she did that. She had the thermal mittens. I was like, my shit. I got back in the car. I was like, oh shit. And I had, even though I had my Max Julian all buttoned up and shit, and still I didn't like flap it right here, so my ears was like freezing. It's cold up here, y'all. Uh, uh where's he at? I saw that. I wanted to show that. Shout out to Sly. The parents got interviewed. Yeah. You know what that turns into. What does that mean to me? That's what it all turns into. What does that mean to me? That's why I don't talk about that shit because that shit don't mean nothing to me. It's not like I'm not a caring person, but what does that mean to me? you know? Mm. And I'll tell you this, wow. Like when I watched the Emmett Till movie, one thing that and maybe Brother Nick, you might really be able to relate to this. So much violence I saw as such a young person and friends, and it's just like it's almost when you see these kind of things, it's almost like your humanity is taken away from you. It really is. Now I know I don't have a military background, but just so many friends that got hurt and that takes your humanity away from you a lot of times. It puts a hardness in you that I think as men, we internalize it, and it just takes our humanity away. And I think in a lot of ways we rationalize the violence that we're able to do without emotion because of that imprinting of this dramatic situation of seeing violence at such a young age. And not actually the violence being put upon you, but being put upon someone you love. And so that takes your humanity away. And we know that a lot of young brothers go through this. And I'll say this, and I'll even say for my son, because my son, well, I'll say for me, There's been some events in my life that have happened recently that I've been able to regain my humanity. Like I was telling Sly, the Emmett Till movie, I cried like not boo-hooing, but I mean just the flowing of cleansing, it didn't stop. I mean, it's a part of that movie where it hits at your humanity. Now I think the movie lets us down because it doesn't show the violence, but you know that the violence was there. There's a story there, and it's a young boy involved, and it hits at your humanity. And watching that and other things, and it's like I've regained that. After that being taken away from me, I've regained, I think, my humanity in a lot of ways. Now, I often wonder, how the original Pontiac, after being at war with these Europeans for so long and then finally living a peaceful life and being left alone, and I wonder if he ever got his humanity back. But with his story, maybe once he got his humanity back, he was easily stabbed and killed. Now, that doesn't mean you won't pop somebody that fucks with you. It doesn't mean that. But it means for you. And so, however, if it was taken away from you, get it back. Because that's one thing that and I don't think it means you soft, or I think it just means that our DNA is natural for us to care for human beings. That's just a natural response. And this thing tries so hard to take that away from you. And when you give in and there's no way to get that back, that's something that's just cold in you. That's something that it's a lot of things that you start to miss about life. Just because there's a part of life that you no longer are attached to. Because you've been told and taught, and for your own protection, to detach from this stuff. And what I'm saying is, work on getting, if your humanity's been taken away from you, work on getting that back. Doesn't make you any less. It'll make you hear things again that you thought you could never hear again. So, wanted to say that. Funeral arrangements. What's more enjoyable? I like, I'm sorry I'm late on these comments. I'll say this, I enjoy hockey more than either one of them. I think hockey's a better product. As far as the scripted go, I like the script of hockey better than I like the script of either one of those. They do a better job of the scripting and the entertainment. And fighting, no one cares that fighting's still in hockey. No one cares about that. So I like, but between basketball and football, I enjoy different things about both. I like football because I can look at the play and I can kind of break down to see what the script is trying to do and then how they're trying to fulfill it. That's why a lot of times when I point out stuff, I'm looking at, the way the play is being set up for the pre-calls and then what forms. And a lot of times you're able to see what the quarterback is seeing. So I like that about football, that I'm able to still see that. I've never lost that ability to see what's going on as the play flows. I like that. I guess basketball, because a couple people say, well, when they watch some of the old 70s players play, the way when it got away from that old Bill Russell, Bob Cousy kind of ball, when they let a lot of them brothers come in, and just when they looked at basketball comparative to jazz and the way that certain people moved, and like Earl Monroe, the way just the way he would move, there's his fluidity and just the way that changed. And I mean, people don't understand that. See, when you look at the game and the game's sacredness, it has to be these steps that turn into something else. That's why when they held back Connie Hawkins would have brought in that Dr. J type of play in the early 60s. And they didn't want the league to change then. Roger Brown and Connie Hawkins in New York, They didn't want things to change. That same stuff that Dr. J ended up doing years later, just like you have to understand, if you look at David Thompson, you understand that whatever David Thompson had was given to Michael Jordan. He was almost the exact same type of player, except Michael Jordan was slightly taller. David Thompson barely taller than me. I'd say David Thompson, 6'2", maybe 6'9". He wasn't that much taller than me, like right here. David Thompson wasn't that tall. But again, he had a 44-inch vertical. But you have to see that Michael Jordan and him, if you watch old David Thompson films and look at Jordan, I mean, David Thompson was once, I think he was the first person to get 40 million. Do y'all understand? David Thompson was given 40 million when Magic and them was playing. Dr. J and them was playing. They gave him the most. So I guess I like that part about basketball. And now the nephew, is about to play, so we're gonna see a lot of games. Tuna with no dairy. Saw snow once when I was 6 years old. I ain't seen snow since. When I travel to places where snow is frequent during the winter, it stops snowing. Homie, bring your ass up here. If I open that window, you'll see snow. It's out there. Like you go in the store, you bundle up and you go in the store and you forget that it's cold. And as soon as you go back out, the hawk will, bite you. Nick knows what the hawk is. The hawk be like, ugh. I'm still out here. You thought you was food because you went in there. I'm still out here, and you had to run into your car and throw the. You quickly get the bag, throw them into the car. You just throw the. You don't care about the thing, the grocery cart. You just throw it to the side. See, up here they don't take grocery carts. They just throw them on the ground. You just like, it's so cold. You just empty your car. You just throw it away and back out fast. So grocery carts just on the ground everywhere. It seems like it's a common practice up here. I wouldn't go for it, though. I would quit. I'd do like Aldi's, make them pay. But up here, they don't seem to mind. So don't be surprised you come up here and grocery carts are on the ground. It's because it's cold. They're trying to get the hell out of there. So have compassion. We got plenty of snow. It's funny, though. Now, when I lived in Battle Creek tended to get what Detroit got. I remember, and I've told this story plenty of times if you've heard me. I just bought a brand new car like a week before. And we got, no, I probably had it for about 4 months. Now to think about it, I got that car before my birthday, so yeah, I probably had it 4 or 5 months. So it wasn't brand new, but it was 4 or 5 months brand new. And I mean brand new that year. And 12 inches of snow was on my brand new car. So I called my wife. I was just going to go crash in my uncle's house. My uncle lived in the city. So I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to make it. It's like so much snow. I think the road's going to be so. She's like, okay. So, but I leave and I was like, forget it. I'm just going to drive to see how far I could get. So it's bad weather. I get around where General Motors is out in Comstock. It's starting to light up. By the time I hit what's called Galesburg, no snow. Because Kalamazoo is on, like when I lived in Plainwell, it is on that Lake Michigan where they get that lake effect snow. It's a belt. Like when I know my daughter where she lives, I know they got a lot of snow because they always get that lake effect there. But Battle Creek, when Detroit, Lansing would get bad weather, we would tend to get what they got. If they got hit hard, we would get storms from that area. Because I know like Detroit, I don't think they had snow. Somebody showed the other day they didn't have snow like the western part of the state was getting. Battle Creek, Kellogg's factories are there. No, they ain't there no more. There ain't no Kellogg's factories in Battle Creek no more. Matter of fact, I think they're about to pull the world headquarters out of Battle Creek. They left them union jobs high and dry. The only production there is Purina, which is General Mills, or Purina. Yeah, I think Purina is General Mills, and Post. Post still produce cereal, but not Kellogg's. Yep, but that's what Kellogg's. Battle Creek is popular for, is Kellogg's, but they ain't there no more. They controlled the evolution of the game. Players ahead of their time weren't allowed to shine if they came before the league wanted them to come up. I mean, remember, they made Wilt, if y'all don't remember, Wilt, his junior year, yeah, Wilt didn't play his senior year in college. Wilt played with the Globetrotters. They made him sit out. They made him sit out. Player, pimp, politician, intellectual, warrior, businessman, seducer, seer, sage. Indeed, indeed. Oh, damn, they left. I didn't know. Yeah, oh yeah, Nick, it's bad there. And they're about to close the world headquarters, which they built. But they're completely, I mean, before I moved, they had taken all the production there. You know what's so dirty is the last production Kellogg's did there, and I only know this because I had security contracts with Kellogg's. The last security contract I had, we were doing security of um the packaging, the packaging on the boxes. That was the last union job they had in Kellogg's. They had the boxes there. They was producing the boxes. Matter of fact, the place I was at didn't produce the boxes. They brought the boxes from somewhere else, but they had they shipped the boxes, I believe. I don't think they produced them there, but that was it. I remember that was the last Kellogg contract I was able to get. Isn't that sad? That was all Kellogg's. But you have to look at a business like this. If 3 generations of family have benefited off this factory, do you think they did their job? I mean, I guess you look at it as should these corporations be tied for these cities forever? Now, on the one hand, you have to look at what was done. The union jobs, these were high-paying jobs. As I've said before, I know a lady. Beverly is not with us. Beverly would be around my mother's age. If Beverly was alive, she'd probably be in her mid to late 70s. Okay. Beverly probably graduated from high school anywhere from 64 to 67, 68. Beverly went right into Kellogg's out of high school. When I met Beverly, 87, 88, Beverly was making $100,000 with no high school education. Or excuse me, without college education. Do you understand me? In 1988, Beverly was making $100,000. Her man, Tommy, worked there too. So together as a family unit, they was knocking down 200. Now the sad thing is both of them was kind of drunk, and that's what ended up killing Beverly. But this lady, for the 10 years I knew her, she made $100,000 every year at Kellogg's without a college degree. Without a college degree. Tommy did the same thing. Not so. Can you understand why Kellogg's left? Because what they did is they took these jobs where people was making $100,000 a year. They took them to places like Nebraska where they paid them. The people down there was happy. It was like 15, something like that. But that's only basically what, 37, 38,000 a year? You understand the difference in money. It's paying these people 100 grand with full benefits, and they go to these other states. And again, the other state wants the business, but no penalty. See, and that's what Trump was talking about. These states want to move around like that to get rid of these unions. They should be penalized. It's kind of saying something like that. He's saying the same thing when they come from the other countries. Let's tax them a little more. So I look at both scales. I look at both sides of the scale. Do I have 2 sons people have been seeing lately? Well, hey Nico, I told my story. Let me see what Nick says. 3 generations, I say yes, they done their job. But when wages start outpacing the price you can charge for the end product, the end is near. That's fair, Nick. That's fair. I want you all to read. I'm gonna read this again. 3 generations, I say yes, they done their job overall. But when wages start outpricing the price you can charge, yeah, exactly. So, White Kite, I hope you just tripping, cause we'll put you up out of here. I'll answer this question. Does this snow harder in upper or lower Michigan? Way more in upper Michigan. Woo-hoo, way more up there. That's why the equipment I was talking about, it comes from up there. The other equipment up there, my what is St. Ignace? It's a big air base up in St. Ignace. Yeah, that's up in the UP. And because the warthogs, I don't know. Nick might remember this. Nick, do you remember in damn, when did she get shot down? Ah, she was a captain and she got no, she did not get shot down. She was, check this out, Nick, if you remember this. She was flying a warthog and her warthog got the engine shot off it. Do you remember that, Nick? She was flying that warthog, and when her engines got shot off, and she still landed back at the base. I don't know if you remember that. What was her name? But it was a female that came out of Battle Creek. But yeah, you remember that, Nick? Because I remember they brought that motherfucker back to the base. They brought it back, but she got that shit shot off from her. What was that captain's name? What was her name? But I remember they brought her play. They brought that back, but she didn't. If I remember right, I don't think she got shot down, but her engine got shot off, and I remember they brought that motherfucker back. But I bring it up because every day the warthogs, or every other day, or whichever cruise, they had to fly to St. Ignace. That was just part of their training. Every day they fly up to St. Ignace, and from Battle Creek it probably took them 2 hours, if that I don't even remember, because I know we was I probably was putting the what was the one in Blackhawks, what was that, Nick, where you would sit behind them, um and I had a contract with one of them, and I talked one of the dudes to put me in. He probably would have got in trouble if I know. But we went from Pine, Grand Ledge. The Blackhawks used to be in Grand Ledge. And we went from Grand Ledge, which is more Lansing. We flew to Detroit and we flew back. Shit, that shit, woo, it was quick. It was quick. Normal, what, from Lansing to Detroit? What is that? 35 minutes, something like that. Maybe a little further. Yeah, but I remember that sucker. But yeah, that's a good point, Nick. Northern Michigan and Upper Peninsula get very. Oh, they get more snow too. Eagles overrated. Eagles overrated. I don't know. Okay, let's talk about that Eagles game. Let's say what's the difference in the Eagles game. Did you notice the first interception he threw? Did you notice how the receiver caught the ball and the ball looked like it magnetically went to the defender? Did y'all catch that? On the interception, the first interception that Hurst threw, and I'm sorry I haven't made any editing videos. All this is kind of changing too. But do you guys remember that play when Hurst threw his first interception of the deep ball? The receiver had caught the ball, but it's like the ball just transferred to the DB. Do you guys remember that? Look that play up. Right to work laws should be in every state, but then again, private sector unions aren't around anymore. It's mostly the public unions leeching off as taxpayers. That game seemed heavily scripted. Yep. Oh, thank you, Nick. Thank you for coming. And yeah, Nick, you ever come up this way, man? You definitely got a place to stay. If you want to ice skate, it's all everywhere out here. Like I wrote in your little thing, the post, everywhere ice skating is. We can go indoor to skate. We can go outdoor to skate. There's warming places, so you can go out and skate, and then you can warm me. I got a couple hills, but like the real hills is next door. For anyone you guys come in Minnesota, you want some really deals on the hills, I got you. If you say you're skiers, every level. I might make a video because you guys know I used to ski jump. Not in this hill near me, another one, but I don't know if I'm going to release that video because got a little money because the jump went crazy and they had to pay me a lot of money because when you go on the ski jump, you're just supposed to come down, like you're just supposed to go up and go down. You know me, I did not just go up and go down. I went further than they anticipated. Wasn't good for me, worse for them because they had to, I'm here. But yeah, the Eagles game was terribly scripted. It was terribly scripted. But that was the one play that right there where one guy catches it and then the other guy the ball is transferred to. And then we're seeing all these games like the Michigan game where this team just suddenly plays good and the defense can't stop them and can't tackle. I mean, like I showed that video. Now college players, it's not that they haven't always been a part of the script, but now they're getting paid more to be part of the script. Keep that in mind. And now we're seeing LeBron's son, we're seeing Bronny, high school guys getting these major commercials. So, what the boy Young is getting, what Young is in 2 commercials now. So, Paige plays for UConn from this area. She's got a commercial from UConn. She's in a couple commercials. So, the script is going to go. Bill's overrated. I'm not going to get that information out. I might get up. I don't know. If I'm get up, I might go with Lobo and them. But I'll say this right now. I would say, and I don't mind giving this up. I'll say right now the script. I'll say the script right now seems to be heavily into a replay of the Cowboys, or excuse me, replay of the Eagles in the Vikings and the NFC Championship. That's what it appears like they're building up. That's why they had the Eagles lost, to try to keep that money interest. And I would say if we see that, I'm going to give Hurst the edge, because Hurst went through the humiliation. I don't know if y'all remember. Hurst went through the humiliation. When they won, remember when they pulled Hurst from starting and they put Tua in? And remember they kept the camera on him? And he handled it like, I'd have to say, if we ever bring that video and edit that and bring that back, he handled it the best I thought anybody, because it was obvious they were humiliating him. And he handled it. He's like, hey, I told him the ball. I mean, he was giving cliches out, but for a guy with being humiliated, he handled it. And I say he might be rewarded for that humiliation. Did y'all see Saturday Night Live tonight? That dude from he played in Gangs of New York. He first played in Gangs of New York. He played in Harry Potter. That dude, did y'all see them putting him in a dress? This dude, I think, said he's 66 years old. He's 66 years old, and he gets put in a dress on Saturday Night Live. So you think the humiliation has an age limit? Anybody else peep that out tonight? Humiliation does not have any age limit. So that's my early predictions right now. That's kind of what the script seems like they're rebuilding from the Eagles going before. We know they like teams that have won it already. So that's how you really got to do. They're not going to let the Bills win. My thing against the Titans is this. This is why I don't think they'll let the Titans win. The Titans and George Blanda won the first AFL championship game. The first AFL championship was, I believe, 59-60 season, and it was Houston and George Blanda. George Blanda played in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and the 70s. He played in the 40s. Do you understand how much football changed? I know it's hard, but do you know how much football changed from the 40s to the 70s? Football changed more from the 40s to the 70s than Tom Brady's career. Football hasn't really changed. From the 40s to the 70s, do you know how much football has changed? Changed a lot. Josh Allen is overrated. Josh Allen is Cam. He plays like what Cam plays. So, I mean, they got on Cam, but they got on Cam for playing the same way, and they hurt Cam on purpose. That was one of my better videos. I think I got 60,000 views on that, where they hurt Cam Watts, hurt Cam on purpose, because he did. That's one thing you have to understand about the NFL is people don't go along with something, they will hurt you. That's one. Gale Sayers is a prime example. Gale Sayers was all pro 5 years in a row, and all of a sudden somebody shreds his knee. Why didn't his knee get shredded before? The aim in pro football is not to hurt your brothers. You're in the union with these guys. You're not trying to really hurt these guys, but it's times where they hurt them. Damn, I like the way these nines. I know this is 666 kind of shit, but these nines, this Jerome Brown is so cold. Oh, look at the eagle. Oh, I like the nines the way that's on the shoulders, though. That's clean. You got to admit, the nines clean. I don't know if the guy talked me into getting this hat, but it's a winter kind of thicker. Not much a camel guy, but cheap hats. kind of with Mahomes. I think I said this before. Is they let Pat Mahomes Sr. make the Twins Hall of Fame. I have pins and they didn't get. I don't have a pin with Pat, but yeah, Pat's a good guy. I like Pat Mahomes Sr. I've said this before. Pat Mahomes Sr. was probably the best all-around athlete I've ever met in my life that I personally know by far. I mean, this guy, one time, I've said this before, Pat threw a football. Clearly, it was like 120, but it was like he threw it at the other block. You know, he threw a football so far, he threw it into the other block. I watched him, Pat, what, 6'3", 6'4"? I watched him dunk on Tyrone, who's a ex-Globetrotter, like dunked on him and hit him in the face. Like Pat dunked on him and hit him, boom. And could throw a baseball 90 to 100 miles an hour. Clearly. Could have went to Texas football scholarship to play quarterback. And could have hooped there. Great athlete. Great athlete. Great athlete. He was a good guy. As we all, go through our thing, he had a few things that bugged him, you can look him up. And sometimes when we get to a certain goals or, demons, fuck with you. And if you're not prepared for that, it can attack you in many different forms. Alcohol, drugs, women, The demons can drain you out your cash too. See? So, there's a lot of ways you can be attacked that people don't have these ways to protect themselves. So, I think, all that rolled up, these things kind of, took their toll on him. But he was still able to, take care of his family. Hell, he's still a wealthy man by most standards. You look him up, he's still a wealthy man. So last time I saw him, he pitched against the St. Paul Saints. He was in his 40s then. Yeah, he was in his 40s then, but he could still throw a baseball hard, doing what he loved, So still proud of him. Like, hell yeah. Like you were saying, older dude's in shape. I don't know if he still hoops or what he does to do in shape. But, that guy was a great athlete. Nice dude. As I said before, we teased him. He's like, you like them seats? Because I had people come in from out of town. It's like my birthday, and my in-laws came in from out of town, and I asked him, and he's like, how many you need? And I think he was able to get me for that game. He put me on the third base. We was on the second level at the old Metrodome, and we was on the third base, like first, like upper level, but like first level, like right on third base. And I remember seeing him after that, and he was like, was the seats cool? Your people like the seats? And I remember it was like, he gave me all the seats, but I think I had to buy two, and it was like the seats next to him was cool deal, because it was like 7 or 8 of us. But anyway, we teased him, and I was like, man, I want to sit next to Kobe, or not Kobe, Kirby Puckett. I was like, I want to sit next to Kirby girl. And sure enough, for the rest of the season, you know how many home games there are in baseball? It's like 60 home games. 60 home games. Do you understand? Baseball is a bunch of home games. And I think 40 games I went to. And we sat behind Kirby Puckett's wife. We sat next to her. She's sharing, we'd get a bucket or she'd get a couple buckets. After we got to know her, she would come back with like them buckets of nachos and food on them. We sitting there. We just sit there cool with her. That's how cool Pat was. J.R. Ryder, on the other hand, was asshole. He give you tickets sitting. If he gave you free tickets, it'd be sitting like, the wall be right here and your seat be right here. And your girl looking at you like, why was we sitting in the highest place? The place be like almost empty, but he would get you tickets sitting like this. Your girl looking at you like, why we up here, way up here? You can barely see. See the difference in people? Ryder would probably say, look, at least I gave you the free tickets. No, that was a good brother too, really. Funny brother. I wish them both luck, whatever they're doing. I wish them both luck. Eagles do have the right cleanest, simplest jerseys. I like, what was it? Their white jersey they wore the other night. I like those. The white ones they wore the other night, those are probably the cleanest right now. They have some gold ones with the gold eagle, the gold jerseys. Those are super clean. Oh, so man, they got, I don't even tell, but they got Viking sweaters. They're sweaters, and they'll put the jerseys, the numbers in these sweaters. Oh my, they are just so clean. And up here it's cold all the time, so sweaters, hoodies, we always like wear that stuff. So that stuff is always in style up here. Uh, I go with the powder blue jerseys. There's no better Charger jersey than a number 19 Lance Allworth, but in the powder blue too. But Lance Allworth, Snoop Dogg, if you remember, Snoop always had an Allworth jersey on. The number 19 San Diego from the AFL. Yeah, Snoop always wore that 19. So that's probably the cleanest San Diego jersey. Um, yeah. Oh, I like the Bucks. Okay, the Bucks played Timberwolves last night, right? No, who did the Bucks play last night? The Bucks in the blue. I like the blue. I think that's clean. Yeah, the Bucks in the blue is clean, and they put that green and them other colors. Yeah, but that blue, stay with that. Did y'all see tonight brotherly love jerseys? The Sixers. Did you guys catch that? The Sixers played. They had brotherly love jerseys on tonight. They played the Timberwolves, and the brotherly love jerseys was a copy of Spirit of St. Louis. Did anybody? I don't know if y'all looked that up. You see the highlights. Their brotherly love jerseys is a copy of the Spirit of St. Louis jerseys. I mean, the design is a copy. That's the first thing I thought when I saw them. So y'all can look that up. Um, Pittsburgh, no. I'll tell you the cleanest jerseys, the cleanest jersey, the cleanest NFL jersey is Saints all black. There's nothing cleaner than the Saints all black. Let me tell y'all what they've done too. Now, old heads, we know this. I'm trying to think, Form Runner would probably know this. But if you ain't really a football head and don't like know, because okay, so when you go to the NFL locker room, like when they find people, there's a sign that tells you what the fuck you can wear. Like I don't know what year they put where the niggas wear the towels in the back. I don't get that. But there's a sign that tells you what the fuck you can wear. And that's how you get, if you just off. So there used to be for a long, like, when I played in college, my whole foot was white. Everything you saw was white. NFL didn't allow that shit. If you look at old NFL film, there had to be color there. That shit must be out the rules this year. I noticed that with Tua. Now you seeing like Hurst too. You see that all white leg. So the NFL changed their rules because you can have all white legs. You used to had to have color broken in there. As a matter of fact, they made NFL players wear stirrups forever. You know what a stirrup is? The old baseball type of socks. Y'all old folks, they used to give you stirrups. it was a sock with the hole was out here and here, and you just put it in there because the color was right here, but it was high. That's a stirrup sock. They used to make you wear that shit in the NFL forever. You had to have color broken there. You don't now. You can have an all white leg. That's new. That's new. Oh, y'all notice the new helmets? Kansas City Chiefs number 25. He has the different face mask, He has the different face mask, the different visor. That's new this year too. That number 25 for the Chiefs is the only guy I can tell you. Look him up, but his helmet is different. It's a few people that wear that new face mask, visor look. You've seen them, but that's new this year. If you guys notice, it's the new face mask. The face mask is straight here, and then the visor is maybe even lower. Yeah, the visor is probably even lower now. So that's new this year too. If you guys look at that, but look that up. The Broncos jerseys. Yeah, Saints all black is clean. Definitely. Black and green Jets jerseys. Yeah, James, I'll give you that. Those are clean. I think those are clean too. Yeah, I ain't not gonna hate on that. I do think those are clean. Broncos are horrible. CJ, baby, you see CJ. We know you got that Broncos jersey. We know you's a Broncos fan. So if you listening, wherever you see this, we know you got that. So you have to let CJ answer that. He loves the Broncos. The Blues, but overall, no, I don't like their jerseys. Yeah, Broncos horrible. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the Bucks jerseys was tight. Also, they had the logo on the court where it had the state of Wisconsin Bucks on it. Yeah, that was clean. Yeah, it was a clean look. I liked it. I like because matter of fact, I'll tell you. Oh man, did you guys check when Golden State played? Let's get up saying they played the late game. Did you guys check out Golden State's jerseys last night? Did you see the bottom of the jerseys? Because Wiggins was wearing his jersey, like his jersey wasn't tucked in, and on the bottom of their jersey is like gold, like it might be the city. I can't tell, but it is just this beautiful, but it matches with the shorts because the shorts have that. But Wiggins with his jersey out and that gold, that the bottom of the jersey, oh shit, that shit looked clean as he was hooping because his jersey was out and that look, I don't know, because you couldn't see it unless the dudes, you could not, and this is what I don't understand the way they put this, you could not see this print unless some of their jersey was untucked. And this shit was like the best part of the jersey. So I don't know if y'all caught that last night, but that shit was a super clean look. So that I might get that jersey and get those shorts and see that color combination because whatever that gold is on the bottom of it, that was clean. That was really clean. I was like, yeah, if I'm getting any jersey, it's that Golden State jersey. Oh, Zion jerseys and lids, still $70. Like, what is it? Why they giving away Zion jerseys? But I tell you, he's been dropping mugs off. I like it when everybody can hang on you and you just go to the rack and or you punching on people. Oh my goodness. Did y'all see last weekend when he just took a step and just boom? He like broke everybody down. And he's like, boom. He is Truck Robertson. Barkley. Early Barkley. I mean, maybe even better than Barkley because Barkley would dribble. I don't know if people remember. Barkley would dribble. You couldn't double team. And again, you couldn't really double team because they called that doing the zone. So he was allowed to dribble, and then I'm stronger than you, and I'm a finally score. That's why they got rid of that shit. Because it was horrible basketball. Because, really, this dude who's shorter, let us double team him, and he's not effective because he wasn't a great passer. That was Charles Barkley's game. Dribble, back you up, 20, 15, 14, 13, back. It was boring basketball. Why did, it goes back to Joe Namath. Homie, it goes back to Joe Namath. Joe Namath was the first to wear white shoes. 68, I would say after he won the Super Bowl, or maybe we won the 67, 68 season. Joe Namath started wearing white spot belts. Nobody else at the time had wore that. And like Joe Namath, there's a famous picture you can look up of Joe Namath. Joe Namath is wearing a fur coat on the sideline. And that's why you can't wear it. Players, you see how players dress on the sideline now? I mean, look at the way Tom Landry, but Tom Landry's wearing fedoras, coaching, wearing fedoras. They can't do that anymore. They can't dress up. The coaches can't dress up anymore. But Joe Namath on the sideline, he hurt. He's wearing a full ass, chinchilla coat in New York on the sideline. He's like, hey, freeze. But that's why, Joe Namath with them white shoes. And even though he probably wore the stirrups, yeah, they outlined them. They outlined that solid block of white because when white shoes became popular, I would say overall, I know as a junior, I got them in as a freshman, but everybody wasn't wearing even when I got them as a freshman. So that was 75. High school still wasn't all, hadn't switched over. It was still just mostly black shoes in 75. So, but that's really from Joe Namath. Ref told me I couldn't play because I had pink laces on my cleats for Breast Cancer Month. That was high school. I had to use laces from dress shoes that game. Yeah, it's a couple rules. Like high school and college are basically the same rules. If you read the rule book, it's pretty much the same. Like if you guys remember, at one time, the pros was wearing them skinny bands, the skinny arm bands, sweatbands. They had the skinny ones. And I remember I bought my son a bunch of them, and they was like, nah, they took that shit off before the game. Like, yeah, you can't wear these. And I had the rule book, and I wasn't sure that he couldn't wear those. So yeah, high school has different rules. Yeah. Has the best logo. Vikings for sure. The best logo. Mm. Raiders. Offhand, the Raiders. The Raiders ain't had to change nothing. Really. They've never changed. It's the jerseys go, but that logo has never had to change. Most other teams had to change. Like the Cowboys, people forget the Cowboys was just white. Like they was just white with a blue star. The gray or silver was added much later, but their original colors was white and blue. So when they wear, I mean, if you've ever seen those old throwbacks, the helmets just had a star on them. They added metallic much later. Like 64, 65 is when they added the metallic, but they was so. Um, I like the logo. Raiders, definitely the Raiders. Vikings haven't really changed their logo. Their logo has been pretty much the same. Because the Eagles were originally white helmets, and sometimes they had the white helmets with the wings, and then they later changed to the more silvery helmets. So can't say that's the greatest. Panthers, Panthers and Jaguars, probably some of the cleanest I like. I don't know. Vikings, Vikings, yeah, as you said, Vikings. Only sports team who knew how to make green look clean on their jerseys. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Notre Dame too, though. Raiders logo and colors were one of my reasons why they were my favorites. Yeah, as I said, that was I had an NFL team and an AFL team, and my AFL team was for the Raiders, and I don't know why. Um, I guess because like the Raiders always had more brothers than other teams, so maybe that was why I liked them as a little boy. But my dad would always pull out two TVs. We always had towers. I don't know if y'all remember, like not ham radio, but like TV towers. You could put up big TV towers and you had greater reception. And my stepdad always had that. So we always had one that would get, because especially when we lived in Cassopolis, which is way south, we was always catching South Bend games, Chicago games. And so we moved to Kalamazoo. My stepdad still wanted that. So he put it before, like he would have cable, but he'd also put one of them big ass towers up there. And he was pulling them games from, we were still getting the games from, we still pulling some games from South Bend. We still pulling some games from Chicago with that tower. Free TV back then. So, black and red 49er jerseys. Not a big fan of them, James. Not a big fan. Want to have a live stream with you. Yeah, okay. Or you can just kick it with me. You know how to email me. You know how to get in touch with me. It's not hard. Well, okay. Oh, there he is. They was just talking about you in your Bronco colors. Yeah, I came up here late, man. I've been itching to come on, and finally got a lot of this work done. I mean, this room's a lot of done. There's books everywhere. I still got to get another bookcase, but yeah, thought I'd come on, let you guys know that I'm not tripping, I'm not strung out anywhere, broke, hungry. Better get us about shooting free throws after the game. Yeah, I mean, he missed what? He missed a bunch of free throws last night. He missed a bunch of free throws. Let's go back to Wizard White. Let's go back to Wizard White. Wizard White. Did Wizard White go to Michigan? He might have, but he played with it. No, he didn't. But look up Justice Wizard White. Where's my book? My book is over there. But he was the Supreme Court justice. This was the cat that played for the Detroit Lions and later became a Supreme Court justice. His football name was Wizard White. What is the Supreme Court justice? What is his name? But look up Supreme Court Justice White. He was probably one of the first to go into politics from being an athlete. So, what's his name? Bill Bradley. Bill Bradley became a senator. So remember Bill Bradley too. So Bill Bradley was a senator. If you can speak to people and you're personable, like a person that I'm surprised never went into politics was Magic Johnson. But I think, when they would have went into his background, it would have been hard to cover a lot of that stuff he did up. The debauchery that Magic did would have came up, and so Maybe that's why he didn't. But I was surprised he didn't because, like in Magic Book, he talks about or the Jackie McCullen writes a book about Magic and Bird, and one thing Jabbar goes to Magic and like Magic, what do I need to do to get it like the way you get it? And he said, Cream, it just ain't in you really. He's like you won't sit there and shake hands and smile and make everybody who comes in your presence feel good. And that's why Kareem never became a head coach because they used the way he was. And you probably seeing Barry Bonds gonna get some similar treatment. But that's why Kareem never was given the chance to coach. That was probably his passion, is because of the way he treated the public. And they held it against him. Uh, Ride or die. There we go. There we go. That's that Bronco guy. Hey, ain't no shame in his game. Ain't no shame in PJ Allen's game. He's straight up. He said he didn't take the tags off that stuff last time, though. I couldn't stand the Chiefs growing up because their color scheme, red and yellow. But they did that tomahawk in the 90s like to do. I would have been a Chief fan. I said this before. When I was in 8th grade, I had a Joe Namath face mask, which was, you had the bird cage, but you didn't have his piece like this. So you had the long defensive face mask, but Joe Namath made it famous. He cut out this piece. Squirrel, that's what he wore the year he shit. Squirrel led the nation in kick returns. 80, I think he led the whole nation in kick returns. But Squirrel wore that kind of thing. But anyway, I had a Kansas City Chiefs helmet that little boy helmet, but it had. What was interesting is you bought those helmets. Those helmets were approved for play. Do you understand? These helmets that you bought at Sears or wherever the fuck they sold these helmets that were the NFL logo, every piece of equipment was sanctioned that you could play in the games with this stuff. I don't know if it's like that anymore, but the shoulder pads had whatever that little mark was. The helmets had that on it because they'd look in the back to see if you had that kind of, because you couldn't play. You couldn't play if you didn't. They looked in your helmet and you didn't have the stuff in the back of it. You done bought your helmet at, like, imagine like the dollar stores, you try to go buy a helmet from the dollar store, they ain't got nothing in it, It's like, hey, yeah, wouldn't let you play. Like, yeah, you can't play with the dollar store helmet. You got to go to the $2 store. But 8th grade, I played with a helmet like that. Kansas City Chiefs, my 8th grade team, we was red and white. Hillside. I'm glad. I'm just teasing. I know you're good. Oh, bro, you want to come up here? Let me know so I get some hockey tickets or whatever. Wherever you want to come up here, let me know. Got to get the tickets in the match. The hockey tickets is hard to come by. I think right now we debating or not if we're gonna go to Christmas Eve game. Kind of debating or not if we want to go. Because like we got a big party that night too. So, but the game is a day game. I think the Vikings play the Giants Christmas Eve. Yeah, day game though. So I think we might make that game. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, J.C. Penney's. Or you could order it. Or you could order it. You could order it. And it's funny, they had a little thing in the back of the helmets. Because we played junior high, or when we played little boy football, remember this. They do two things they did two things. They weigh you. Because you can weigh only, a certain age group, you can only weigh so much. And they would look at that helmet. Well, where's that little sticker on the helmet? And they would look at your helmet. They look at the back to make sure your helmet was one of the eligible helmets. Isn't that funny? Can't come cheap with those dollar store helmets. Come out with the paper mache helmet. But I'll say this, up until I was in 8th grade, up until I was in 8th grade, they were still letting people play with leather helmets with face masks. When I was in 8th grade, the people that didn't play a lot, they gave them, matter of fact, when I was in 9th grade, I was a freshman. And it's not funny because his brother's not with us, but if ever the coach tried to discourage a guy, this is an example of a coach discouraging a guy. It was one of my friends named, we called him Egbert. I can't think of his real name. Casper is one of his nicknames. But the coach gave this dude, he gave him a leather helmet, but he didn't give him one with the face mask on it. Now, as far as I knew, it was enough plastic helmets. I don't know why he gave this dude, and this dude is out there practicing with us with a leather helmet on with no face mask. I don't think he wanted him to play. But I don't know, I thought that was mean too. I thought that was mean. I will say that. I thought that was mean. Waiting for my vacation time to respond. There we go. Uh, my youngest uncle's a big Broncos fan. I used to wonder why. I guess because of Steve Atwater, the Nigerian Nightmare. uh, uh, I only go to one hockey game every year, and every team that plays against the Kings when I attend this wins the Stanley Cup. Wow. Well, come up here and sit with a game with me. Come up here and give these mugs some luck, and maybe I can win some money. Give you some money for it too. Yeah, I don't feel as bad sitting here. Usually I sit down in this spot. Not that comfortable. But I don't know. I might end up having to put other equipment in here. This works too. But yeah, this has been fun. Oh, check this out. I've got to, whatever I did to my arm, I got to do an MRI. Now, this is the negative. I don't know if y'all know, like I normally go to the open MRIs, which they put it on the side of you. The magnets is on the side of you. That's the only difference. Instead of them being like this and you between them, they're on the side. It's really, it's an optical illusion when they're on the side of you. It's an optical illusion, really. But when you go between them, I don't like that shit. And they gave me one volume. Like, I'm gonna be looking at them like, okay, you're gonna get paid this amount, and you're gonna give me more volume to go up under there. So this one volume shit ain't gonna get it. And they got them at the MRIs. But I'll say this: the sideways ones or the stand up, I'm too broad. I've had my shoulder done, and I've had my elbow done before. I'm too broad, and to do your elbow and to do your arm, you pretty much are like, it's really super uncomfortable. And if you know, if they built, when you had an MRI, they build this thing sometime, man, 10, 15 minutes per, because it's a picture they build, So I'm going to have to, on the 30th, I've got to go up under that mug. Oh, I don't like that shit. Now, I'll tell you, I've told this story before. The first MRI machines were trucks. It was actually trucks that would pull up to hospital docks. That's the first time I did it, and that must have been 2005. That's what I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was 2004 or 2005. And I remember I had to go into the hospital. They took me out to the dock. I went into the dock, and yeah, like I already had the little shirt on or whatever, the hospital shirt on. But it was cold, and we were outside, and it was a truck, and the truck had to stay on. But it was a truck. It was a truck that pulled. So the MRI was a truck, if you understand. They would go from place to place. It wasn't that's how expensive it was. It wasn't from place to place. So. Yeah, remember when you did that video where Elway did an 8-step drop back, not a 4-step, but 8-step? Yeah, around the end zone. He just keeps going back. It was like he knew what to do. That's the parts that is. It's like back then they probably didn't have earbuds, everybody, but it was like they must have told him what to do, because he obviously tries to get a sack. And then, of course, we know that Cam, the play that Cam did before the pick six, when they took away Cam's first down when he played in the Super Bowl, and that first down he got, they took that pass away. The dude clearly caught the ball, but they reviewed it and said he didn't catch it. And then the next play is a fumble six. I mean, this is bad scripts, and it just makes you wonder. It was like the Vikings game with the Bills. When they didn't score, it almost made you think the Bills get the ball, and then the Bills fumble. It almost made you think that the Vikings were supposed to score. Because why would they do such sloppy football? Like when the quarterback for the Bills, I mean, he obviously didn't try to catch the ball. It was almost like now it made no sense that the Vikings didn't try to mix it up when they went. Cousins, really? Not Cook over the top, not any other players over the top or sweeps. No, Cousins trying to sweep. That's like having your grandmother trying to do a quarterback sweep. That made no sense. But it was almost made me feel like when the Bills fumbled there, I got the feeling like they were supposed to score on that drive. So I don't know. That was sloppy football. That was real sloppy football. If you looked at it as a script, it seemed like they were trying to make up. When the Bills fumbled on the one, it was like they had to make up. And then at the end of the game, when he forced, the guy definitely wasn't open. Interception at the end of the game. Allen throws that interception at the end of the game that he definitely wasn't open. I don't know. They kept the MRI machine inside the truck. Yeah, homie. They kept the MRI machine was the truck. Yeah, the MRI machine was mobile. Yeah, it was mobile. The MRI machine was mobile. And they just had to pull up to a dock. And you went inside the truck. You see what I'm saying? That big magnet was in the truck. But yeah. The MRI machine was inside the truck. Absolutely. It was mobile. That's how they did it back then, apparently. But that was like 05. 100% they were supposed to score that drive. And when they didn't score, I actually turned the game off. And I see later that night the Vikings won. Yeah. Buffalo can't run the ball. I don't know, James. They had some good, decent drives. And Allen plays like Cam. And they praise him where they got on Cam. He's the same size guy as Cam. And he runs just like, his game is like Cam's. It's like they found another guy from Wyoming that can play like Cam. They didn't like Cam. They hurt Cam on purpose. Is Cam in the league? Cam is backing up somewhere, isn't he? Who did I see Cam on the sideline? Maybe I was wrong. Well, didn't Cam's backing up somewhere. Is Cam backing up the Eagles? Is that where I saw Cam? Is Cam one of the Eagles' backups? I thought I might have been. I don't know. Anybody else know about that? Because I thought I saw Cam backing somebody up, and maybe it might have been the Eagles backing up. I don't know. But that's what happened to Cam's career. After he hurt his shoulder, he wasn't the same guy. He wasn't as accurate. Oh, Cam is out of the league? Cam is out of the league. Okay. Hadn't seen Cam? Okay. He does a podcast? Okay, that was somebody else I saw, though. All right. Man, who was that backup I saw? Okay. Thank you, guys. Chargers, where's this? Chargers over Kansas City. I don't know if that's upset. Where are they playing? Where are they playing at? Super Bowls. Phil Simms practice. I'm going to Disney World speech the night before the game. No, the one they fucked over was Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice turned the Super Bowl out. That Super Bowl against, really Cincinnati. Despite Jerry Rice's good Super Bowl, if what's his name? Phelps gets that interception on Joe Montana, Cincinnati wins. He dropped it on purpose. And you can find that. I tried to share it. And dude took it down or copyright. I just tried to share what he put out there, but you can look that up. When Phelps drops that interception, that was their ass. They don't score. They tell he sees John Candy, no. Nigga, you threw an interception on second down. And dude didn't drop it on purpose. They would have won the Super Bowl. Cincinnati would have won the Super Bowl. And of course, Wilson's play is the next play, That's why these teams, they ain't won it, they ain't gonna let them win it. They are not going to let them win it. I also have Dallas over Minnesota. Ooh. This one, I'll tell you, I want to see the point spread of this one and the over and under because I'm taking some of this. And we're at what night? Yeah, tomorrow. I say the Vikings cover. That's what I'll say. I'll say Vikings cover tomorrow. Vikings cover. That's what I'll think. I think they beat them and I think they cover. I think they beat the Cowboys and cover. Because I'm gonna tell you now. I called this last week. I really thought the Bills. I thought the Bills were going to beat the Vikings, and the reason why I thought they were going to beat the Vikings was because if you guys remember, Allen's very first game as a pro, he beat that Vikings team with Cousins, and that Vikings team was loaded. That Vikings team was loaded. And that was the first game of the year, and they beat them. That was my pause on that game. I thought they were going to lose that game. No, I don't. I don't see Dallas beating them. I think Vikings are good TV this year. People hate the Cowboys. People really do, and I don't know. I think the Vikings cover tomorrow. Jerry Rice be on the sideline, Pistons Super Bowl 38 against the Buccaneers. Oh yeah, that one. You know, Lorenzo, that Super Bowl 38. Remember, the biggest thing that happened was their center went missing. They did something to the center. He left. They were in San Diego. He was found in Mexico somewhere. The center. And then we got Tim Brown and Jerry Rice both saying that they went back to Groden's plays. They went back to Groden's plays. You hear some of the DBs for the Bucs saying they knew what play was coming. They went back to not only his play, his verbiage. That's what people don't pay attention to. Not only did they didn't even change his verbiage. They was using still Groden's verbiage because he was an offensive coach. They were still using some of his verbiage. So it's like we was talking about the Super Bowl that Phelps drops the interception. Remember, Stanley Wilson was smoking crack. And if I'm not mistaken, Stanley Wilson was the leading rusher for Cincinnati that year. Yeah, you had the Ickey Shuffle, but Stanley Wilson, I think he led the AFC in rushing that year. And they catch this dude smoking crack. The night they go into the day of the Super Bowl and they go find him and he's in the tub done smoked out. How's that possible? How's that possible? Like, why didn't he smoke before the AFC Championship game? Or did he smoke and he just smoked enough where he was okay and fooled everybody? Everybody know addiction don't work like that. Everybody know it don't work like that. He ain't just smoking a little crack, and going to play his game. No, somebody went in his face and, he was an addict that was struggling and he was snuck in there to take him out. That's how they do that kind of thing. Wasn't no mistake. It was somebody took in there. They know that that's how they fix stuff. That's how they fix stuff. Each turned from the worst division to the best division. There you go. They sure were. They were the worst. He was on the bench. It's funny. That's what they make you think. That's definitely what they make you think. But, the most important event of that guy's life, the pressure just got to him. The most important event in that guy's life. You think he just no. There was somebody there that was allowed to be around him. And the powers that play, as Jody says, the powers that play put that guy around him because they wanted him fucked up. Both sides knew. Wasn't like his people didn't know. You think his people, they ain't got detectives. Niggas like that NFL book I got about the guy who tells about the NFL scripting. Do you know that one of the most important parts he tells you? The NFL's been had detectives. They have detectives that work for the NFL. Ben had them. Since the 50s, the NFL has had detectives. So if they want to really research these players, they got a division of detectives that work for the NFL. Had them for a long time. So you don't think these detectives can keep these people away from Stanley Wilson if they want to, and they know his past problems? Do you don't think this one night they can say, you know what, Stanley's sweating over there. Let's just put a little extra help up there to give Stanley. Stanley might be thinking about that rock, and we need to get him not thinking about the white rock. We need to get him thinking about this brown rock. You don't think the NFL could have done that? And look at the reverse, as MJ would say. Look at the reverse side. You don't think it's easy for them to say, you know, we think that we just send Sammy in there. Sammy, can you think, or a woman? More likely they sent a woman at him. And like they set up the boy in D.C., he didn't even want to smoke the rock. The woman like went in there and got the rock going. Marion Barry, remember it was the woman that brought that shit out. He didn't bring that shit out. They could have done Stanley Wilson the same way. So, I have James says I have Baltimore versus Tampa Bay. Nah, they ain't gonna let Baltimore through. I think Brady is on. I think it's just about humiliation, the divorce. I think the humiliation is going to continue. I don't know why the NFL needed him, but apparently they still need him. That's what it looks like. The NFL needs him. But this is why, and I'll say this again and again. One reason why old players, like I was saying with Tom Blanda, or excuse me, George Blanda, playing the 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s, it's easier for older dudes to stay with the script. It's easy. Like, what is his name? Ibaka that's still on the Warriors for some reason. And then what is the dude that they keep on the Miami Heat? You know, that one player that never plays, but he kind of coaches, but they let him dress. He played with back when LeBron was winning and Wade was winning. That dude they keep forever. Well, these guys are handlers, and these guys teach players how to handle the script. That's why they keep these guys around. And that's part of the Brady script as well. Older dudes can do the script. But with you a little guy like Chris Paul, you know, you break down all the time. Champions apply the pressure instead of letting the pressure get to them. Pressure blows the pipes. Pressure blows the pipe. Haslam. Yeah, Haslam. Exactly. Thank you, Lorenzo. But yeah, Haslam. I mean, you see it why they keep these guys around. That's why. They can help their handlers and they help dudes, you know, understand the script and how to apply it. Here's a good joke for y'all. Number 18 that plays for the 76ers. Do y'all remember that song? It goes, oh, show and tell, just the game I play when I want to say I love you. Don't number 18 look like, his name was Al Harris, I think, that sang that song. Don't number 18 that played for the Sixers, don't he look like an old R&B nigga you can see, you know, with the square in his mouth and shit, you know? Like, look at number 18. He looked like Al Harris who used to say that song, Show and Tell. I was telling my girl that, like, you can just see that nigga with a cigarette in his mouth singing Show and Tell at some little club and shit. Like, you know, one of my songs I listen to every day is The Tighten Up by Archie Bell. And Archie Bell made that song in 1967. Matter of fact, Archie Bell was in the Army, and, you know, his song was a hit. His song was in the top 100. This nigga's in the Army. Some say Vietnam, some say Jersey. I don't know, but the nigga was in the Army. He was like, hey, that's my hit. He had to get out the Army to go, you know, make some money. So, yeah, Donna Haslam. Yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. You're a little guy like Brady will have one more championship before he retires. Peyton Manning special? I don't think so. Brady is gonna keep that humiliating shit with him is gonna keep going. That divorce, that ain't, you know. I think I really don't think he wants to play, but they're keeping him playing. Plus, Lamar Jackson playing for a contract. Baltimore, a hell of a defense. They have a good defense, but they're not giving it to him. He's a good script doer, script getter, but I don't know if he's gonna get that money. I think he's gonna get franchised. They're gonna do him like Kirk Cousins. Then what you gonna do? You know. Yeah, I got all this burp. Excuse me, but yeah, they're gonna do him like Kirk Cousins. He gonna get franchised. Shake Meldon. Shake Meldon. Yeah. Mm. So this is a lot what we see. There's a lot what we see. A lot what we see. That's what's gonna happen to him. Play that kind of game, and it's just I don't know. It's funny how like they would have this. This is funny what they would have accepted. They would have accepted Tim Tebow being inconsistent but being a good runner. They would have accepted that. They accepted for 6 or 7 games. And remember the one game Tim Tebow. Do y'all remember the defense when he won that playoff game when he beat maybe it was the Steelers? They put everybody on the line. Do y'all remember that when Tim Tebow won the one playoff game? They put everybody on the line like zero across, zero coverage across, nobody back. And what beats that? Everybody knows a pop pass slant beats that because there's nobody back there. You beat your man, it's easy to run away from your man on a run start. If I can come up to you and I can cut and I'm in full stride and I'm 2 or 3 steps, you're not going to catch me, So that's how they set up plays. If you don't think it's set up, it's easy as that. Look at that. That's zero coverage across, nobody back. I'm looking at this like anybody could score. Kenny Gardner could have threw it. Anybody could have scored. So that's just how they accept things. Like, look at what the Rams are going through. You really believe the Rams are that bad? Yeah, you guys believe that the Rams are that bad? Really? Did the Eagles get sued? Is that what I read tonight? The Eagles got some new player. Did the Eagles get sued? I was reading something. Did I miss that? Did the Eagles get sued or sue? Eagles got somebody picked up some defender before the trade deadline and picked up another defensive lineman. But maybe I thought he got sued. So, But yeah, guys, I think we all look forward to meeting with the families next week. Time off, short week. Everybody, those of you that work, get that money for this holidays. I'm going to try to work Monday. I don't know. I like not working. I forgot how much I like not working. But I'm going to see because I broke both my feet again. So we'll see if I'll go back to work Monday, if I can stand it. Because my hands aren't hurting anymore, but my arm. I don't know about having surgery on my elbow. Oh my goodness. That would take forever to heal. Oh my goodness. Rehab. This to tell you why I'm afraid to have surgery. And this is for real. So I go see my doctor last Thursday. So I have my coffee, I have my phone, and I have my arm in a sling. Okay. So I've got it all planned out. I get out of my car. I think I put my car key in my pocket already. Get out the car, lock it. I'm holding coffee and my phone in one hand. My sling is in the other arm. I walk up to the door and I have a problem. I'm perplexed. How do I open the door? And if it wasn't for some good people behind me, that young lady, I take it that the young boy was, I don't know, maybe physical. That's the way he was dressed. He didn't appear sick, looked like physical. But they came and opened the door for me. So that is another reason why I do not want to have arm surgery. But if it is snapped all the way, probably going to have to happen because the muscle will fall down and, you got to have something to hold it up. So if there's nothing holding it up, probably going to have it. So, yeah, that's what I thought. I read. Yeah, they got Sue. Yeah, and they got Sue and Joseph. Yep, they got Sue and Joseph. Yeah, I thought I read that they got Sue. That's not bad. I don't mind. I do not mind. They got Peters back there. The Raiders did the same play against the Ravens on Monday Night Football last season with Zay Jones and Carr in overtime. I mean, they do these. You see this stuff that repeats. Yeah, absolutely. You see these repeats over and over again. So yeah, it gets stale after a while, but it helps us people to recognize this stuff. I was watching a thing earlier, and it's funny how they repeat this. It's like even us as a people, they were showing like they watched that Netflix. Am I black enough? And they used that from Cotton Comes to Harlem. They used that line, and what was saying was like how they would use the same storyline for black folks. And they showed one dude singing "Stormy" or no, "Old Man River." Then they showed Paul Robeson, and it was like the stoic, the stoic happy slave, that kind of thing, just to get you in that kind of mentality with that kind of vibration of that slow pitch, Southern kind of, I'm just a happy-go-lucky kind of, just sitting here. I'm a slave, but I got time to, put my big deep voice up and sing a song, that kind of thing. You see that same thing in sports, especially, the same numbers again over and over again. Like, the Gophers lost, but their player is Ibram. Ibram wears 24. Ibram ran 260 yards on him and lost to Iowa today, but he wears 24. So you see, this still goes on. This putting down, putting it in your face still goes on. The shaming still goes on. So you have the Steelers over Cincinnati. I guess I'm gonna have to look at that because since we were doing a little family thing and I was tearing them up. Like we was doing a little family thing. We were supposed to put money in. I won like every week we did it, but like 1 or 2 weeks. And if I didn't win, I tied. So I'm a pretty good handicapper. Stop doing it. You have Steelers over Cincinnati. I tell you, Cincinnati is the same. Cincinnati is going through the same shaming as the Rams are going through. Same shaming. As I've said before, they hurt that quarterback. Burrow got hurt his first year on purpose. If you go back, I think might have been on my old channel. I don't know if it's on this channel, but Joe Burrow definitely got hurt by his own man on his first year on purpose. The lineman fell into his own guy's knee and made him, he wore a big old brace in the Super Bowl, if y'all remember. He looked like he had got hurt at one point in the Super Bowl because that knee got bent back pretty bad where that big old brace is. So they hurt him on purpose his first year. I don't know if y'all remember that. And that's this league. This league, if you out the pocket just a little bit, they will try to hurt you, put you out. I showed that Bear. I don't know what happened to the Bear player, but where the Bear defender was going to make the tackle, his own man hurt him to make him not do it. So this is part of it too. Gosh, what point did I want to make here? Just read a great book. My girl brought me a great book, and just kind of, I don't know. It's a part of it I wanted to say about it, but I don't know. I don't know if I can tell it to make it interesting. I don't think I can make it interesting right now, so I'll save it. But this has been the first time I've smoked. I've just been like, man, I get the good edibles now. Like, I've got, like, these are 50 milligrams per. So 2 of these are great. 3 are really great. But I got the other ones that are equal to 3 of them. 2 of them. Almost 2.5. So don't really have to smoke. My guy had some really good bud. I kind of hate I didn't buy flower, but I just don't really smoke flower. I like the wax. So helps with the I like not smoking. I do. This smoking, I mean, it's got like the smoke is all this shit. Smoke wax, it's like it takes everything. It's like you got this, you got the stir, you got all this shit. It's guys that come on and they like zone out, but this just is like very crackheadish. It's very crackheadish practice, Remember the difference between crack and what was it called? Yeah, I'm old man. But the other shit, it wouldn't burn with a lighter. You waste it. It would just keep melting and you waste it. Speedball. No, not speedball. Freebase. Freebase would only melt with one of these. You couldn't put it. And then the government on UCLA's campus invented crack, where they found, regular butane lighter. You could light it. And people don't understand, when you watch a snowfall, when they talk about, how to make crack, that was a secret for a long time. Because the other process with the rum was what rich folks started doing at first, because it is a very pure form. You know, it's a pure form. It's one of the purest forms you can get of cocaine if you don't get it in the liquid form. So yeah, because it's base, you know, it comes from base, you know. So when the government invented crack, you know, it wasn't really base, you know, it was a lot. It was, but it was just, it was enough cocaine in it where it was just as addictive at a cheaper price. And that was how it attacked, because before then, cocaine, especially freebasing, was more expensive. It's a very expensive process. So common people couldn't do it. I have an app for you where you can get over. Uh, Shit, you know how to get in touch with me. You send that for me, because if I can get the Wild and get the Timberwolves, yeah, these gummies are pretty good, pretty good. Oh my goodness. Uh, okay. I don't think I have anything to write with up here. Books, but I'll look over it again and I'll check it out. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, this ain't bad. You know, this stuff is pretty good. I ain't got the whole house smelling like bud, you know, but the whole house is great. I mean, living here is great. Life is really good, and the spirituality is growing. The understanding of things, the study is growing. I'm growing as a person. You know, my children are doing well. My son is 20 years old. He has a nice 3-bedroom apartment. He really does. Um, my mother, my girl's mother, her family, they like him more than they like me, and they've given him a bunch of furniture, so he's gonna cook for them. I could tell he gets kind of lonely, missing me, because I remember one time, you know, because I I let him live in my apartment pretty much free for 3 months, pretty much for free 3 months. I pretty much paid for him and my cats to live there, and I didn't live there. And he's like, I don't even see you anymore. So, you know, mentally, it was kind of, you know, getting used to being on his own. Still tough for him, but it's helping him grow. And he took my cats, because where I live, there's already 2 cats, and 2 more cats is too many. So, uh, and my female cat will not get along with any other cats but that one, because my son house set a cat, and then the cat was pissing on the shit. You know, like spraying, and cat piss is hard. You got to get us some shit called Autobahn. So ever you want to get cat piss or dog piss, whatever, Autobahn is the only stuff that I know that get that shit out. They don't sell it everywhere anymore. Right now, Costco, maybe Sam's. My daughter's mother was supposed to pick me up some from Costco, but it'll get that piss smell out of stuff. So a lot of times you got to throw that shit away, you know, because you can't. Not even the sanitizers, you know, that now everyone's selling sanitizers. I don't know if y'all, you know, that do your laundry at home. They're selling a lot of sanitizers, you know, so you can sanitize your clothes as you wash them. Where you put the softener, you put the sanitizer in. You guys peeping that, you know, whatever kind of machines, that's what's being offered now. So yeah, so got to do that. And yeah, you know, oh, you know, we're on the time of the long nights. Y'all dig that, don't you? We're in the time of the long nights. You know, it's nighttime. We're gonna have 15 hours of night from now until the solstice comes in. So the nights are gonna get darker and darker. So this is a great time to for those of you that like moving in the night. This is a great time until the solstice on the 21st. So I like this long night time. I really do. Great time to meditate. Great time to get in touch with whatever spirituality you have. This is a great time for that. And again, remember the reason for these artificial holidays. They need you and your energy to believe in this new year coming. And so that's why all these artificial holidays, all these scripted sports are so thick this time of year, is they want you to be into believing that a new year is coming. Because without the people, we don't have to accept that another year is coming. The people can just say, fuck you, it's just going to stay 22. We don't care what day you call it, but it's going to always stay 22. If the people just said that, they would have to bend to that. People just said, no more numbers. We just going to keep it 22. What would they do? They would have to change. But how hard would that be for everybody just to say, fuck it? But this is the reason for these holidays, is they need you and your energy to believe in it. That's why I'm saying, bring it in with a bang. Do you know how many years I would just blindly shoot in the air on New Year's? I mean, years. One time I remember shooting about $300 with ammo. Just New Year's. We had 4 or 5 guns out. I think 3 of mine, and some friends brought guns. We had a woman shooting guns. And where I lived, we had just an open pit. So it was like no danger of me shooting anywhere. You're just shooting into like an open pit. And we shot for hours. We just out there shooting for hours. And police never came, nobody. I mean, we shot for hours. Pow, 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 pow. But you used to just be in the neighborhood shooting up in the air. You know, bullets come up and go down. Just everybody around me shooting though. You know, now in regards where these bullets come from. I had a bullet go through one of my porches. It hit. It was a 45. It just hit on some perfect angle where it just came. It only glass it broke was it came in such speed and such perfect angle that it just broke a hole in where it entered. It didn't shatter. It just broke a little hole through one of my windows. Where somebody you can measure where the goddamn gun come from. You can measure from my window in the trajectory and tell exact place where the gun came from, where the shot came from. Excuse me. So, but yeah, that you know, us that used to be a thing with us, and I was guilty of that. So remember, when what goes up does come down. So you're not out in the country. Oh, okay, Amy. So remember that, guys. If you that do that, remember that. My spirituality is the 7 principles of truth, mental, generic, alchemy, transit, atom, mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect. Oh, you know how I feel about that cause and effect there, where, you know, you can live above karma. Because if you accept karma, what does karma do? It comes back and slaps you. You know, if you gain some kind of, you know, karma's not, it's not a big, it's not a big thing, you know. So if you get, I mean, really, if you accept karma and you got an advantage, in the back of your mind somewhere, you're going to think that because you did something and got an advantage, you're going to get struck in some other way. That's kind of how it works. Whereas instead, if you raise yourself, you know, the karmatic thing, you're just over it. And that's how you really want to vibrate. That's at least how I operate. I operate above that. But whatever, you know, works for you. I mean, this thing. Okay, I didn't answer. Somebody asked a question about seeing the 2 suns, and I'm sorry I didn't answer. And this is the perfect segue for whoever asked me about seeing the 2 suns. This is the segue to it. So, a few years ago, well, first, you know, there's a thing called the sundog, and the way they try to explain away a sundog is saying that it's reflections. Because when you see a sundog, you see actually 3 suns. You see a center sun, and you see 2 suns beside it. And they want you to believe that this is a phenomenon that comes from a reflection. That's a sundog. From my own personal experience, living in Prior Lake, Minnesota, I caught 2 suns. I caught one sun go by, and I caught the other sun follow it. Now, of course, this reality can produce different things at different times. But that is something that I did experience. And then I look at this sun that I see now, and it doesn't look like the same thing as I saw as a young boy. So this reality is many different things. It is many different things to everyone. I was telling my girl this earlier. This thing can make you think that you got taken by an alien and anal probed. And it is real to you. But if I was there watching you while you were supposedly experiencing this, I might not see what happened to you. I might just see you sitting in the chair the whole time. Do you understand how this reality would go? The reality might open up something for a person you're watching, and they're going through a whole thing, and they may just sit there while you're watching it. But in their mind, they done got up and they done went somewhere. In a video, and even you will say, motherfucker, you didn't go nowhere. You was right here. But that's how this reality can do you. Because this reality can create some bullshit. Let's even go further. If you go into belief and blind belief, as I've said before, and I've said many times, and Sly seems to like this, but demons can do good things for you. Wicked can help you. What did Eddie Murphy say? Wicked is good or evil is good, but wicked can help you. This system can't work just in one way. The system can't be successful. It's just wicked is just slapping shit down every time. Just wicked is just beating everybody down. People wouldn't go with it. If you understand that part, it has to help sometimes. But see, it'll slap anybody down. As you watch that 67-year-old man wear a dress tonight, he had to bow down. But as I said before, to y'all, the only reality you seeing is me right now. The only thing that's real to me is y'all names. For me, the part of you that exists is y'all names. For me, y'all see me. Now, people that see this later, you follow that. So right now, we're experiencing two different things. So I'm supposed to tell you that these names have people behind them. Do you understand how we're and then when you look at the names, you're supposed to believe that there's people behind those names if you look at the names and as you write. So do you see how we're all experiencing it different? One thing. It's three different experiences on one separate thing. And so that does go into how real is it and what is real. And this is a solution. I know so many times people talk about this is a solution. What is real is not polluting your body, for one. There are things that is just harmful for you to eat, and cut them out as easy as you can cut them out. But what you bring into your mind, what you study, what you listen to, this is just as important. Polluting your mind with things that, what does it mean to me? You know, what does it mean to me? And if I experience this, what does this do to my humanity? Does this help my humanity grow, or does this take away from my humanity if I experience this? What is this machine trying to make me feel? Because that's how you got to look at this stuff as it comes out. What is this machine? How does it want me to feel? How does it want the masses to feel off what it puts out? It's like someone asked about the movie with Black Panther. I mean, what was the message put out? The message, again, is put the man down. Not recast. These Europeans will recast Superman 1,000 times, but they told you they couldn't recast his brother. How many Tarzans has been? And Tarzan, some old shit. But really, they can recast everybody else, but couldn't recast this dude. What sense does that make? What sense does that make? And so that's my take out of it, too. But as you bring all this in, what does it mean to me? That's how you got to look at it. Does this make me smarter, or does this take away? Whatever that stripping stuff, the paradise. I saw some dudes dressed like that. You know, for Halloween, that paradise, the stripper show. My girl, like, I watched one episode. She said, what do you think? The shit made me stupider. That's what I told her. I said, watching this shit has made me stupider. And that's how I felt. You know, and there's things like that. That's what I take from it. If I witness that, it takes something away from me. It wants to take an emotion away from you. So why tap into this stuff? So watch what you bring in. And the stuff you do bring in, make it you. Whatever path you take, whatever path you follow, make it you. No much as about it as you, whatever you define, know as much about where it comes from and how you came about it, how it came to you, and expand from there. The brother gave me the Time Walking Papers. It didn't end. He told me it's going to change my life. Well, he was right, because it opened up so many different avenues. And I ain't just stopped there. And I think that's one of the great things about being a lifetime student. There's always something, you're a student of the universe. That's who you're a student of. The universe is your student. All this is, eventually you kind of figure out who's behind the curtain. And despite that fact, knowing some of this, you still got to exist. And you know what? Nas has a song called Once a Man, Twice a Child. And that's some real shit. Once a man, twice a child. And I know so many men that were shitty men, mean motherfuckers. Children don't hardly fuck with them. I've met women the same way. Where the women weren't great mothers, and it got older, people don't fuck with her. I dated a woman. She said, I know no one will take care of me when I get older. She put a spell on herself. That's exactly what she told me. She said, I know no one will take care of me. But the love you put out, and you don't put out love to get anything back. You put out love just to put it out. That's what love is. True love is there's no strings attached. It's like the way you love your child. For those that you have children, you already know. It's like it's a type of love that you don't realize that you have till you go through it. That you can love something so much. And when you love someone, there's so many little things that if they weren't around you that you would miss. Things that you wouldn't even think about that you would miss. So be good to people that are good to you. I think that's the best message for any young man I can give. Because we tend to grow up later. If this is where you at, grow up and be about it. However you handle it, grow up and be about it. But grow up. For any young men out there, listen to me. Mature as fast as you can. Be financially mature. Eat. Be mature about eating. Can't be a little boy. You can't eat like, you got to get the sugar demon. You got to get that sugar demon away from that as soon as possible. Turn it around. Because you already see what it can do. You do things and you already see what they can do. I mean, it ain't going to hurt everybody. It's like the 12-year-old, the 112-year-old Army vet smokes cigars every day. How do you say that? How do you describe that? Guy said he drank every day, and he said he smoked 3, 4, 5 cigars every day, and I think he lived to be 115 years old. How do you describe that? Everything they telling you, brothers that have high blood pressure, probably ate a lot of bacon in his life. Affects us each differently, but just in case it ain't for you, that's maturity too. Eat maturity. It ain't the thing of being scared of death. It's being scared of being alive and being fucked up. So if we can avoid some of that, Why not? Why not avoid some of that? And it's just a maturity we as men don't get. And just shit, a man is working all the time. I mean, eating out all the time. I mean, do you know how hard it is to live in this life and networking and stuff and meeting people and not to eat out every day? Do you know how hard that is not to do that? If you really about it, you're a person that's out all the time. And you know how hard it is not to eat out 4 or 5 times a week? You know how hard that is? And you're a person that's doing things. You set up meetings and shit, and well, we got to meet at 7. Okay, well, what does 7 o'clock mean? I mean, you're going to go somewhere and eat and meet people. You know how a lot of us live like that, you know? Before you know it, you done ate in a restaurant like, 5 out of 7 days you done ate in a restaurant. And that's just a part of life. It's not that these places don't have good food, but nothing's as good as what you can cook. So, but I want to thank you guys that came in tonight, or whoever tunes in. Thank you. Um, you know, I'm not struggling, as you can see. I'm not struggling. It's not tripping. So it ain't from lack of. It's just getting it all together and taking the time to get it together. So that's all. As far as the time slot, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get the late time slot again. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how it all works out. But I'm energized that I'll come on some more. Might do more shows because of this long night. A lot of energy going around. Really going from Halloween until so. But yeah, I guess I can go off and to my two adversaries. I paid the price, so you gotta leave me alone. So no, this little pesky shit I paid. So I'm cool with you. So hey, y'all gotta leave me alone. If it don't turn you on, step back and leave it alone. But no, I paid, so that's the punk ass price to pay. Um, I'm gonna say this: we all we all have tough times, and we all try to do business with people. And sometimes the business doesn't go as the way you have it planned. I don't. That's very kind of you, Mac Bone. Bones down to consciousness, energy, and intent. There it is. Thank you. Hmm. Hmm. I'm glad I found you again. Change your name. Yeah, yeah, Weefman. Yeah. But thank you, Edward. It does come down to that. Because, yeah, where your awareness, what awareness level you're at. And yeah, how you go about your day with the energy that you have. Yeah. Because energy is what you put into it, is how you go about your day, the energy that you put with your intent to be successful. And that's kind of how it is. Your energy should be used to making you successful, and that's how you apply it and how you burn it. That's what, when you go to work, that's what they're paying for, the energy that you're applying to whatever you do. So, and you do that to however you feel, you do it, whatever your work is. So yeah, definitely. Vanetta, you must be working. I know you work a lot. Good to see you. Gosh, I was up there. I was up in your area, Vanetta, yesterday. I had to take the 300 in, and just got the oil changed. But the heating element went out with one of the 300 seats in it because it is a 12. So they were talking about 1,500 bucks. I'm going on to YouTube and I'm gonna get that shit done much cheaper than 1,500 bucks. But yeah, but the damn steering wheel was putting out like heating the whole car. It got so hot. So I don't know. The steering wheel was going crazy too. So yeah, yeah. She said, "Yep, she's at work." Yeah, but I was up there yesterday at Walzer. She's nowhere Walzer's at. I had to take the 300 because that's where I got it from. I got the 300 for Walzer, so it's the only place that's ever been serviced. Yes, what? 2012 300S, but the S with the Hemi in it. So it's only 50,000 miles, something like that on it, all-wheel drive. Because my Taurus is newer. My Taurus is a 14 and the BMW is a 12. It's funny how all the cars ride. It's just funny. Different rides of the different cars. That's kind of cool. Because the Taurus is really just a straight up American car. Like just a straight up American. You can just see old American highway cruising, just the way it hits. It's a very stiff ride, but it's a very firm, good ride. I mean, you really feel on the road. And then you have the BMW, which is not made to be quiet, but it's very responsive. And it's funny the way the dampening's done. And then 300, it's way so heavy that everything it hits, it's pretty much, it's not as, I would say it's damn near firm as a Taurus. Now, my friend has an A6 Audi. I think this is a 17. And it's funny how just the rides of all the cars are cool. Just noticing how each company attacks the way it rides. It's just so cool, to experience that, to see how every car, responds. It's really cool. So, and I had done something to the 300 where I don't know, I must have hit where you paddle shift, and so I come to like I'm almost taking the car back, and so it's almost back, and so the last light I hit for I'm coming home, I had to. It was like I hit it, and it starts revving up. I'm like, this motherfucker's back in paddle shift. So you can, anybody knows, even modern cars, you can just, you can just, the Chryslers, you can just, tap them, or you can paddle up here, boom, boom, boom. Just like on a highway, when you get that motherfucker up to fourth and you drop that motherfucker back down to third, when you want that mug to shoot out, you hit it in lower gear and that mug, or that motherfucker's seventh, eighth gear, and you put it down to third, and you make that mug, that car, them rear drives of eat into the road, and that car shoot down the highway. Those of you like to drop fast. Shoot. Get them cars revved up, then drop it back down low. You guys ever did quarter mile in a car? When I used to live in Michigan, we used to live by a place where you could do quarter miles. And I had my first 300 was a 05, 05, 06. Now they came out in 04, so maybe it was 05. And that big heavy car, I can't remember, but shit, it was like 20, 30 bucks. And you could do a quarter mile with that big car. I think 14 seconds probably. I don't know what the 300, because mine was a C. So something like that. Mine was rear drive. Back then, that one was rear drive. Yeah. So, well, what does the name Pontiac mean? Well, Pontiac was, some people call the War of 1812 the Pontiac's War. And what Pontiac had saw that the encroachment into Pennsylvania, and then the encroachment from Pennsylvania into the West. And so Pontiac was the one that said, we've got to stop them here. If we don't stop them here, they're going to encroach to the rest of the city. So Pontiac was actually, he was more than likely, he came from North Carolina, was probably Catawba. He was probably Catawba, but he was the Catawba went to war against the Ottawas, and it appears he was stolen as a child by the Ottawas from the Catawbas, maybe even Sapanis. I'm not sure, one of the two. And so he was raised where I grew up in Michigan. He was raised in the Ottawas, and the Ottawas area was like what present day Grand Rapids, Michigan. Is kind of where what Pontiac called home would be considered Grand Rapids, Michigan. And yeah, so he was the first one to really see. And his flaw was like Tecumseh had the same flaw. His flaw was depending too much on the British and depending too much on the French. So, because the British was part of attacking them too. You remember with Dolly Madison and stuff, the British burned D.C. Well, they burned the White House, if y'all remember, when Madison was president. And that was the same time. The British attacked, and then the French and the Indians attacked all the Americans as well. But he was the first to really voice that we can't let them get into the middle of the country. We can't let them go into the Midwest. We have to stop them. And then the French pulled out of Pittsburgh. They pulled out of Pittsburgh and they pulled out of Detroit and just turned it over. We're really not much of a fight to the British. And you still see, it's just funny. The British still got Canada. So just wonder how much they hated the British. And if any of you guys ever been to Toronto, there's still part of French Toronto. This part of Toronto is like, you go to parts of LA and you just see some Spanish menus. You go to Toronto, you go to some parts of Toronto, everything is in French. I mean, of course, there are people that help you out, but, so it wasn't completely wiped away. So that's what Pontiac is. And so that energy, I pull that energy is the same energy I pull out of, Tecumseh the same way. That I'm able to walk lands that both of these men have walked. And so that's why I use their energies. Eight Wind, that's the great ancestor that lived in Mixotec. So, these names, these energies are used, long as energies need to be used. So it's a new energy I've been working with. A brother that actually I'm on part of his land. There's a brother named Black Dog that lived on these lands. He's a Dakota brother. And I'm a couple miles away from Black Dog Trail. And they put him off his land because they wanted to build they want to use the port. One part is where to put electricity grid, which they put in later, but they wanted a port. So they kicked him off his land so they could, have a place to make European industry. So it wasn't important for him and his people live there. So this is part of where I live is part of his land. And where I live is actually not far from me is another river where the holy area is. So this is kind of the path that led to the holy area. So a lot of good energy coming through here. Again, I live near this giant hill, I guess, if you want to call it. It's not a mountain, but it is a giant hill. So kind of working with those energies too, which seem very positive. This part of the country seems to give me good energy. I'm around this pink granite. Keep that stuff all around me too. So I love this country. Don't know what brought my family here. Ancestor came here. Part of the family, like I've got family in St. Paul. The family name is Nampy, and there are Ampies that actually live in St. Paul because one of the we share the common ancestor came to this part of the country and he went to Iowa. So I have relatives where we're from the same branch of the family, but that are here. And so we've I'm Facebook friends. When they have reunions, I go to their stuff. And so this is a good spot. My family has and if I showed that video of the mound, now that I know that that's there, and that great energy, all the mounds in Wisconsin. So yeah, next summer, going to definitely see all this stuff and try to share this stuff with you. And whatever, spirituality, whatever there's no one way to do it. So whatever you find to make yourself whole. There's no one way to do it. But there are ways to strengthen yourself. So again, watch what you bring in, watch what you listen to, watch what you read. Because the more corruption you bring in, the easier it is for you to be corrupted. It comes down to that. You're feeding yourself by listening to stuff. Like my girl does something interesting because for the most part she can, she's the boss, so she do what the fuck she wants to do. But like I'll watch her before she engages with these people, and she'll just, she'll turn it on. She'll turn it on. And that's what it is. It's like however you gauge, whatever you sell, whatever you work. It's like when you're in that environment, turn it on. Be successful. Just because this thing, see, this is the part that people get about this reality is, what does Cypher say? He says he knows the steak is not real, but yet he's enjoying eating the steak. But it's more than that. It's like you still have to take a breath. That's as simple as I can put it. Yes, it may not be real, but you still got to breathe. And so because you have to breathe, each moment does mean something. Now, you can command moments. You can get where you can command the moments. I mean, magic is the way the magic is put out, it's an easy path to keep on. I'll say that. Yeah, pretty easy. Pretty easy path to stay on once you start getting everything together. It's a pretty easy path to just of simple magic of just doing what's best for you. I'll say that. It's not a hard path to follow, to practice, to learn, but it's a learning experience. And the way it comes in ain't the same for everybody. Said the French are good at running away. Well, thank you, Magbone. Thank you for that. So that's the energies. You know, you bring certain energies uh, that people forget about, like this stuff. I've got when I was using Starface, the Starface energy is great because it's like what's funny is I was using the pendulum and I was asking my Starface. I got a picture of it and I was like, "Am I a call?" And it told me no, but it was so deep as it was like no one studies this and no one tries to tap into this stuff. Where I remember looking out the window and then there was a vision of how Pakal looks in the leaves, and the vision was pretty much saying, "Okay, no, you're not that," but it was like, "Don't let that dissuade you." Like when it appeared in the leaves, that's what it really was saying. Was like, it was like saying, "Okay, you get this," and it was like almost thinking, almost to the point where it thought I would lose interest. And if I lost interest, a lot of this wouldn't be revealed. And so it's interesting how it's like you can't lose interest in this. This is kind of showing you some stuff. And so, what did Malcolm say? You take one step to Allah, Allah takes 1,000 steps to you. And it's like some of these energies, you start getting into these energies. These energies will give you some a little bit back, and that's the way it has to go. Because if there's no encouragement to study or that this is the right path, we tend to, fall off without encouragement. So I say, the wicked can, send shit. And you see these people selling this shit, selling religion. You see it. The wicked can be successful. And we see all these people that agree to push wickedness. We see it. We see it every day. People out there that push wickedness. Whichever way they push it, they still push it. So you can't say that wickedness can't do good things. As I was saying, demons can do good things, but so can wickedness. The wicked can do good things for those that it wishes to do good things for. But there's a price. And it's like really it's like the price of success now compared to if you fulfill I'll say what quantum of science says. If you find out what your mission in life is and you fulfill it, that's it. That's what it is. It's you find out whatever your mission in life is and then you just fulfill it. Whatever you're good at, whatever your mission is, that's what it is. Now there's those that want to be wicked, and that's limited. And I guess I did get off point. No, my point was this. Just like the Gnostic books say. The Gnostic books say, why do you accept death when you were given eternal life? And that's the question. Why would you accept death when you were given eternal life. That's it right there. And most accept death. Most are scared of death. Yet you can kill. Because there's no one that listened to me ain't killed a bug. There's no one that listened to me that ain't killed a bug. And to that bug, you were God. Now, was it bad luck on the bug's part? That you swatted him against your wall? So, you guys know death. Is that something to fear? Do you think when the bug comes in your house, it fears death? No, it smells whatever. Don't fear shit. It has one purpose. You got an ant. Ant run, come up your leg, because the ant thing coming up your leg, it smell food. It's got one purpose, to bring food back to the hive. Or back to the queen. So whatever your purpose is, find that purpose and find how that purpose can help your awareness. Because you live in a world that's unreal. You live in a world that's unreal, and it wants you to be unreal. And the more unreal you become, and a lot of times it will reward you for being unreal. That's the best way I can say that. This is a world that rewards you to keep being unreal. The more unreal you become, a lot of times it will keep rewarding you for being unreal. And you see these entertainers, how much they get rewarded for not being real. And they accept that. They're ciphering. They know that the steak ain't real, but they don't care. As long as they can feel rich in this thing. And they don't care that they become less and less real. They don't care that. And they want their job is to fool you into being less and less real. They want you to think about things that take away from what you are. They don't want you to think about what you are and what your purpose here is. And here goes a thing tonight. My girl and I were going to go eat in a new place. And we pulled in. And as we were pulling in, a company came out and we let everybody. And the last woman, I said, thank you for holding the door open, but she really didn't. She kind of just swung open. It was like a ugly attitude about it. And my girl was like, and so we go in and it was like we had to sit. It's like, you want to wait? I was like, hell no. And it's like we got in the car and was like, why'd you thank her? It was like, she ain't really, but it was like they were funky to us. They had no humanity to us. It appeared like that. And I took it a step further. It's like, okay, with that attitude of you coming out, do I even want to go in this place where these ugly attitude people come out of it? At that, not to say I won't go there in the future, but that time it did not seem like a good place for me to go to. And it had nothing to do with the owners or anything, but it was just the vibe of these people. And I was like, if this vibe is in there, I don't want any of that. We end up going somewhere else, and I say the food was probably better. So, Richard Pryor said, the point is there is no point. I have no topics. I'm gonna go off 3 hours. That's good. I'm gonna go off. If I get up, I know Lobo and them do a pre-show. They kind of invited me. I don't know if I'm gonna get up in time to do their pre-show. It's got to be 3 some in the morning here. I know it's got to be about 3:30 here. Yeah, it's about 3:30 here. So I don't know, Lobo. Maybe I can make it. I don't know. And Black Trunks, look at my picture. My stuff was clean back in the days. It was all edged. Show the pictures. So quit getting our old folks talking about we didn't keep our stuff clean back in the day. You know we did. Getting your hair lined has been there forever. My afro used to be lined. They used to line up the afro. And then when it was the shag afro, it was like perfectly blocked in the back, So that ain't nothing new getting, nothing new, baby. It's all in good nature. Well, guys, this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. For me not coming on here often, the ones that hung in this long, thank you. I appreciate it. Till we meet again, say less.